A young girl and boy kneel before a grave marked, "You Cain's C." A young girl and boy kneel before a grave marked, "You Cain's grave." She vows to become a veterinarian so she never has to see Yatsuha cry again. UICI declares he will cure all of Yatsuha's pets. The girl is amazed, calling him a veterinarian who cures animals. Uichi affirms that he will absolutely become one. Yotsuha hugs Uichi, thanking him. The children invite Uichi to play dodgeball with them. Uichi promises to teach Yotsuha how to catch a beetle. Uichi states that he wants to be a veterinarian after all. He reveals that he is going to be transferred to another school. Uichi waves goodbye to Yotsuha, telling her to take care. Young Uichi waves cheerfully, wishing happiness to the person he loves. He hopes that no matter how far apart they are, or how many years pass, they will be happy. Uichi sits at his desk, looking dejected. The mood is somber as he stares down at the open book. Uichi seems startled, muttering, as he recalls a dream of the past. A classmate tells him he's on cleaning duty and needs to wipe the board. Other students mock Uichi, calling him trash. Someone defends him, saying, "Don't call him that. The desk is covered in hateful messages. Disappear. Die, idiot." Footsteps echo as the young man walks down the school hallway, clutching a card that reads, "Adapt." He resolves to make a decision and adapt to the situation. Two girls watch him as he passes. Laughter erupts as the young man is mocked by his classmates. He is separated from others, and the word "isolate" hangs in the air. The boy is sweating and looks down in shame. The young man opens his locker to find it overflowing with trash. He compares the situation to middle school, thinking it's better now. He clutches his card, resolving to do his best. The young man walks away from the lockers, determined to become a veterinarian. His goal echoes in his mind as he strides forward. He has a new purpose. Inside a train car, a young man stands while another sits with a backpack. Outside, the train speeds along the tracks. The sitting man holds up a test paper, exclaiming, "I did well this time, too." He looks at the paper with a mix of surprise and... On his phone, the young man sees the contact name, Utisu Misikeo, with a message, "Bring dinner for the four of us." He thinks to himself that she's in a bad mood today, and he admits that he's scared. Arriving home, he is greeted by Uti Yuchiko. Uichi announces, "I'm home," as he enters a messy room. Michiko sits on the couch, engrossed in her phone. A close-up reveals Michiko's distressed expression as she continues to look at her phone. Yuichi and Michiko sit at the table, surrounded by dishes of food. Yuichi thinks to himself that he'll study much today and finish eating quickly. Michiko asks him why he is sighing. Uichi, looking distraught, is accused of blaming someone and being responsible for making dinner. The other person retorts that things haven't been easy for them either. The tension escalates as the other person reveals they had to go to the hospital, take pills, and work, only to be reprimanded by Yamamoto-san and Nozaki-san. She accuses Uichi of only going to school to play without worries and questions like... The argument culminates in spilled food containers and accusations. She shouts that she has lost her appetite because of Uichi and that everything is his fault. Uichi, looking defeated, repeatedly apologizes and admits it's his fault. Overwhelmed with guilt, Uichi wonders what he was apologizing for. He is clearly in pain as he clutches his head and kneels on the floor. The young man stands, declaring, "I'll do it," while another sits with his head in his hands. The camera shifts to a desk, cluttered with books and papers, where a figure sits hunched over. A desk lamp illuminates a page, casting a stark light on the words, "Fate." Two framed photos reveal contrasting memories, one of a happy family, the other of a group of friends. The text reads, "In just a few years, everything changed, and even though I had such a happy life." A young man clutches his head. The young man looks up, a determined expression on his face. He thinks that there's something that hasn't changed and will remain the same forever. Below, Yotsuha, his first love, is shown. He recalls telling her that he would definitely become one. He vows to keep trying his best for her. Despite being bullied, hurt, and yelled at, he keeps going because of her. The young man thinks that even if he wants to die, he must keep the promise he made to her. Even if everyone tells him to die, he will keep his promise to her. He tells himself that it's fine for him to keep living, and keep living. However, the young man's expression betrays his true feelings as he repeats, "It's fine" to himself. He touches his head, overwhelmed by emotion. A disembodied hand reaches toward a photograph as a voice declares, "Don't use her as an excuse." Uchi sits at his desk, head in his hand, as a voice tells him to hurry up and die. The girl accuses Uchi of becoming calm and creepy, adding that she doesn't. Voices intensify, telling him that he should just die. Overwhelmed, Uichi screams, "Stop! Don't say it!" He hears Yotsuha's name called out. Yotsuha appears at the window, calling out to Uchi. She greets him, saying, "Long time no see." The young man looks bewildered as Yutsu appears at his window, announcing that she sent him a letter and has transferred schools. She exclaims that it has been a long time since they last saw each other. He is shocked by her sudden appearance. He climbs onto the second-floor window ledge, declaring that she wanted to see him as soon as possible. She then jumps to the next building, stating that it was the shortest path. She reveals that she moved into the building next door today. Yotsue admits that her actions were dangerous, but she is happy to see Yuichi. She urges him to hurry and come in. Yuichi is embraced by Yotsue, who says it has been so long. The young man expresses his fear, wondering what letter she is talking about and worrying about what she might say. Yotsuha presents him with a bag of chips, calling it a moving gift. She suggests they eat them together. She wonders if the chips will taste good, even if they're in bits. Though she may have crushed them when she jumped over, she promises to be careful to avoid getting his room dirty. She will open them gently and definitely drop all the chips. The girl calls him a genius, and Yuichi is amazed that thanks to him, she can eat without wasting any. She asks why he doesn't try them, but Yuichi thinks they taste weird. Yuichi agrees that they taste funny, and she thinks that his carefree attitude is nostalgic. Yotsuha tells him to look at her. She eats a chip, and Yuichi thinks she's cute. He is happy that she's enjoying them. A flyer for Hokushin National University catches the girl's eye, and she exclaims that it's a school for smarty pants. She realizes that the young man is aiming to become a veterinarian. He sits, stunned, as she approaches him with the flyer. The girl embraces the young man tightly, declaring, "I love you so much." She insists that no matter how many years pass, her feelings will never change. She says, "Seriously, you really are." "Seriously, Uchi," she exclaims, hugging him. Uchi thinks to himself that it's a dream, so warm, but it's not a lie. Yotsuha tells Ichi that he's just like he was back then. She is so kind and cute, so funny, so soft and warm. Uchi looks at Yotsuha, confused. Uichi declares, "I love you a ton," her eyes sparkling with affection as she touches the young man's face. Overwhelmed by emotion, he tears up various panels showing his reaction to her confession. The young man hugs Uichi tightly, tears streaming down his face. He whispers, "I am so glad that I am still alive." A hand gently strokes the young man's hair as the voice repeats, "It's okay, it's okay." The pair embrace, finding solace in each other's presence. The voice continues, reassuringly stating, "Everything is going to be okay." The two sit together on the floor, locked in a comforting embrace. Ozaki-san apologizes for falling asleep, noting the late hour. The girl assures him it's okay. Then, a woman with long dark hair stares at her phone, while another apologizes for the intrusion to Ichi's mom. The girl bids goodnight to Uichi's sister. Uichi's dad asks Nozaki-san if he is a friend of Ichi. The girl waves goodbye as she leaves. A girl with a flower in her hair stares intensely, thinking, "Murderers." In the background, Uichi's dad, Nozaki-san, and Uichi's sister stand. The group is accused of not just them, but even destiny itself, making Uchi die. The accuser declares that everyone is responsible. The words, "even destiny itself," appear in bold, stylized font. A girl denies saying anything, while a young man questions her. "Your cruel destiny" is written over a panel of flowers. Vowing to kill it this time, the girl's determination hardens. Yuichi waves goodbye, thanking someone for walking her home. She looks forward to seeing them tomorrow. Fighting against fate is the four-leaf clover of determination. Yuichi's arrival is described as a ray of light in a dark world. She is the girl from his childhood who transferred to another school. However, The young man thinks he shouldn't be so happy about it. His friends notice he doesn't look well and ask if he is okay. The young man feels awkward talking to others, and he is getting bullied for hanging out with them. He is told that he has become a boring person. Yutsuha, surrounded by dark figures, is warned that she will become cold. The girl tells the young man that he should just die. He wakes up in a cold sweat at 4:12 a.m. UICI greets someone with a cheerful, "Good morning." Yotsuo has snuck through the window again. She hugs Uichi, saying she wanted to stick together. She apologizes for being heavy. Yotsuha, seeing Uchi again, is overjoyed. She asks Uchi if the clothes suit her. Yotsuha declares that she will be attending the same school as UICI from now on. She expresses her happiness, saying they will be together all day long. Uchi says he will wait outside while she changes. Yachts, Iue is excited as Uichi compliments her uniform. She asks him if she can hug him. The young man thinks that she might change someday soon, and that terrifies him. However, he believes it will be fine if it's just a little. Uichi stares in horror, seeing his mother standing in the doorway. Utterly shocked, Uichi can only utter, "Mom?" Yotsuba tells the mother to get out of her house, stating that she has something to talk about with Uchi. The mother demands that Yotsuba get out of there. Yotsuba waves goodbye to Uchi, saying she will see him later. Yotsuba stands in front of a gate, her expression hardening. She vows that she won't let Uchi see that. Yotsuba stands in a doorway, looking into a messy kitchen. Uichi stands with hair obscuring her face, asking if he is angry about what happened yesterday. Her expression is hidden, but the weight of her question hangs heavy in the air. The young man arrives to find Uichi looking exhausted. She admits to not feeling well, citing stress and a lack of sleep. Despite her struggles, Ichi insists it's not her fault she gets angry, emphasizing that she is trying her best and needs him to understand. Accusations fly as the girl claims he will abandon her and get a girlfriend, fueled by jealousy over him bringing someone over. She burns papers on the stove, demanding he look as she expresses her anxiety. Alarms blare, and the words, "Fire," flash repeatedly as Uchi demands he look at her this time. The young man is startled by the sudden chaos and the apparent fire. A woman with dark hair stands holding a bloody knife, her eyes shadowed. She asks why someone left, revealing self-inflicted cuts on her wrists, and blames Uchi for making her anxious. On her knees, the woman begs someone not to leave, demanding an apology. She cries, kneeling on the floor. Alarms blare as a young man stands in a cluttered kitchen, looking around in confusion. He calls out for Uichi, a worried expression on his face. Yotsuha hears a sound and asks if someone is okay. She realizes she accidentally took Uichi's bag, expressing relief. The girl cheerfully announces, "Let's go to school," as Nozaki-san exits the house. She reveals that she has taken his shoes, presenting them to him. Nozaki-san looks on with a conflicted expression. Imagining the girl with dog ears, Nozaki-san thinks she is cute. She urges him to go, and he agrees. The scene shifts to inside a house where a woman stands alone. Clutching a bloody knife, the woman declares that she will show Uichi when he returns. She believes that he won't abandon her and that the family will always be together. Noticing something on the table, she wonders what it is. The woman stares in horror at a photograph that has been defaced with a knife. Meanwhile, the girl and Nozaki-san walk together down the street. Uichi's school is the source of excitement for her companion, who mutters a quiet, "Yeah." He clutches a small notebook, seemingly lost in thought as they walk together. The pair continues their stroll, side by side. Uichi apologizes, but the young man assures her, "It's okay, it's my habit." She expresses her happiness that he wants to be a veterinarian, confessing that it makes her happy. Uichi then asks if he truly wants to become a veterinarian. The young man tells Uichi that whatever else she wants to be takes priority. However, she insists that she wants to become a veterinarian. Uichi declares that she has a dog now, while someone off-screen comments on how cute the boy is. The young man laughs, noting that the dog loves to play all the time. Uichi reveals that she made breakfast for him today. He admits that it's cute. At the train station, a young man appears nervous, muttering, he is clearly scared as he thinks, "I'm scared." Meanwhile, another person hopes they don't meet them today. The young man sees the people I went to middle school with. A girl is aiming to achieve her objective in the next chapter. The young man's face distorts from the pain he endures. He cries out, "Hiya!" He hopes he doesn't run into them today as he sees those people from the same middle school. He tells himself he is fine, thinking that even if he gets found, they'll just laugh at him. To them, he is just an old toy they have no interest in anymore. Someone asks, "Hey, whose kid is that?" Another person wonders if she is from Hakugu. Student asks, "What do you mean?" as others comment on someone's faces, voices, and whole presence. Then one of the students kicks another. Afterward, a student says, "Let me borrow that," while another asks, "Anyone who thinks he should?" The student is surrounded by the words D and hears, "Will help you die." He looks terrified, saying, "Ah." In the next panel, he says, "I'm scared." And another student states, "I'm feeling like I'm about to vomit." A girl asks, "It's Uchi, right?" As another tells her to look at that. Uchi flinches. The students behind them wonder, "Huh? Where?" Uchi is embraced in a hug. Someone exclaims, "Uchi!" Comments, "Uchi's is so warm," while Yotsuha looks on in surprise. Uchi asks the young man to let her put her inside his jacket, exclaiming how warm he is. She then turns to Yotsuba, inviting her to try it too. Yotsuba seems unsure, but the young man agrees. Yotsuba nestles close to the young man as other passengers watch with curiosity. The young man seems unfazed by the attention as he lets Yotsuba lean on him. The young man notes that Yotsuba's body temperature is warm. Yotsuba agrees, saying it feels calming. Meanwhile, onlookers whisper about whether they are dating. The passenger expresses his disgust at seeing the couple's affection. He wonders why such a cute girl is with Uichi. The train is Yuchu station, and the couple prepares to disembark. The video of Uichi from back then is shown on a phone screen. One of the boys says that he has got it, and another suggests that they show it to that girl. Uichi is seen on the ground, crawling. A girl expresses her annoyance at someone getting off of that. Discount coupons fall to the ground as people walk by. She exclaims in frustration, realizing she dropped a coupon. A group of students walk together, discussing whether it was McDonald's. One of them forgot to submit the shift to his part-time job. Another student asks Uchi if that is the right textbook. A girl accidentally brought a toy. She wonders why. The toy, a fluffy teddy bear, falls. Uichi startles the girl, greeting her after a long time. She seems nervous, questioning if they are still friends. Another student looks on, seemingly annoyed by the interaction. Uichi suddenly grabs Yotsuha in a hug, causing her to tell him to stop. Someone calls his actions disgusting, while asks him not to act cool. Yotsuha pleads with him to stop. The student who was watching earlier declares that he wants to kill Uichi. He accuses Uchi of being hypocritical and disgusting. Yotsuha, still in Uchi's embrace, asks if he is jealous. Yotsuha is described as reliable, smart, and good at sports. Someone else says that he is kind and perfect in every way, admitting to feeling jealous. Yotsuha is embraced tightly by Uichi. Consumed by rage, the young man demands why he should be jealous. He grabs another student by the collar, swinging a fist while shouting not to mess with him. With a student sprints through the train station, a small toy rolling underfoot. He clutches his phone as he races forward. Suddenly, the student trips, his phone clattering to the ground. He falls onto the tracks as a warning announces the train's arrival. The train is toward the fallen student. A conductor yells for him to get closer to the platform, and another person cries out in alarm. The young man scrambles, desperately trying to hold on as something cracks beneath him. His phone slips from his grasp, falling onto the tracks below. He stares down in horror, gasping for air. The crowd murmurs, wondering what just happened. The girl says she doesn't know, clinging to the young man, who admits that it was scary. The scene ends with a note that this isn't the end. The image expresses gratitude to Tired Step for allowing the translation of the work. It is described as an absolute peak. The final image states that the translation was done using basic Japanese and AI. A girl in a school uniform opens her jacket, asking if someone wants to buy crack cocaine. Below, a young man looks shocked, wondering how she knew he does crack. He responds with a hell yeah. The train stops briefly for a track inspection. Passengers murmur as they watch the inspection. A girl says it's scary because they said someone fell onto the tracks. A young man cries, thinking he was going to die. Someone asks if he is okay. Other students are shown in the background, one saying, die. A girl says that he is always so scary. A person says they are surprised because of him. The young man trembles violently, just seeing him used to make him tremble violently. The young woman admits to feeling a little sorry for him. However, the chat is going wild, declaring this situation crazy. The young man beside her visibly reacts to the online frenzy. A streamer, wearing a mask, is shocked by what is unfolding. He exclaims, "What was that?" as he records the scene with his phone, realizing it has turned into an insane livestream. The streamer finds the situation hilarious, as evidenced by the comments flooding his screen. The livestream shows an insecure wannabe alpha getting jealous of an introverted couple, trying to attack them, tripping, and almost ending himself. Someone sends a tip-off message to the streamer, revealing that Kazuya from the Love Tanaka channel is taking a train after spending the night with someone he's cheating with. The streamer is excited to catch something crazy on camera. He calls Kazuya a sly dog. A man yells, demanding that someone stop filming. Another person questions if this is violence, while a third urges Ieto to stop. The situation escalates as onlookers record the scene with their phones. Despite the tension, the young man and girl hold hands, trying to reassure each other. He insists that he is not scared, and she echoes that she is fine. They attempt to project an image of calm amidst the chaos. The girl's face fills the frame, a radiant smile breaking through her earlier apprehension. She expresses her relief, stating that she is glad. Her joy is palpable. Online, the situation intensifies as people identify Eito and his school uniform. The comments section explodes with activity, urging a doxing team to take action. Someone is broadcasting the scene live from their phone. Social media explodes with accusations. One post claims the target is bragging about bullying, labeling him a scumbag. Another alleges assault. Further digging reveals personal information. Eito's high school, address, and even his father's workplace are exposed. Since middle school, the young man has been bullied. Even in high school, he doesn't understand why. The reason, however, was obvious since that time. Since the first day of school, the desk is defaced with hateful messages. Trash, disgusting, die. Why are you alive? The young man stumbles, finding the situation depressing. Hey, Uichi, someone calls out. Beaming, the girl points out the clovers growing nearby, exclaiming how great that is. She recalls seeing this in a drama and wanting to try it herself, as someone twists a clover ring onto her finger. She finds the clover ring lovely, anticipating so much happiness for Uichi with it. Running ahead, she confirms her excitement. The girl declares that she is going to make Uichi's school life so wonderful, clearly having fun. However, Uichi seems less enthusiastic. The girl pauses, questioning what she is going to make. She stops in her tracks. Uichi declares that she's going to do a lot of fun things with OIC Chai. She also makes sure to study properly. The young man steps forward, thinking that he is heading into that hell once again. He notes that he has to stop by the office to handle his transfer paperwork, telling someone, "I'll see you later." The same old school, he thinks as he sways down the hall. The group of students chuckles, noting that he's here. One wonders who did that to him. His textbooks are messed up, left on top of a toilet. The group of students continues to laugh, calling it so gross. The young man feels suffocated by the situation. The young man reaches into a filing cabinet, then notices something in his palm. He stares at the small object, wondering if he's been set up again. Yuichi thinks to himself that at least he wasn't hurt. A girl tells him that lots of happiness will come to him. The girl cheerfully greets everyone with a "Good morning." As she enters a classroom, murmurs fill the room as she walks in. The teacher introduces Yota as the new transfer student. She announces her name and says it's nice to meet everyone, as the class whispers about her. A young man thinks that a girl will make friends quickly, but then she says, "But with me." Suddenly, Yuichi bursts into the classroom with a flourish, announcing her arrival with a loud "Ui-I, Chai-I, Three-I." Yuichi is excited to be in the same class. She rushes to hug a boy, exclaiming that she missed him. Yotsuha hugs the young man tightly, prompting stares from their classmates. Someone asks what they are doing. Yotsuha declares that they are childhood friends and that she has always loved Yuichi. Yotsuha embraces Yuichi, calling him the most important and precious person in the world to her. The surrounding students are confused by the display. The girl holds up her textbook, declaring that they should use hers together. She bangs on the desk, demanding to switch seats. The young man looks up, confused and unsure. The school bell rings loudly, signaling the start of class. A voice chuckles softly, unseen. Despite being in class, the young man thinks it's a miracle to be so close to the girl. They sit side by side at the desk and stare at each other. Yotsuha reaches out and holds his hand. The young man apologizes, saying he has to listen to the class, but he is happy. The young man says, "Yeah," with a downcast expression. In the background, other students sit at their desks. A student wonders what's going on as he sees a couple sitting together on a bench. Hearts float around the pair. Irritated, the student struggles to comprehend what he is seeing. Another student calls out to him, accusing him of throwing away his textbook. He retorts that he was forced to see something disgusting thanks to the other student and his girlfriend. The student declares that he doesn't care and will tell the girl directly. He thinks to himself that he wants a girlfriend like that too. On the road home, the young woman promises to bring an even tastier bento tomorrow. Her companion looks forward to it, squeezing her hand. She smiles, but he remains silent. Various scenes depict the couple holding hands, hugging, and generally being affectionate. Yuichi thinks to himself that Yotsuha has always had the habit of holding hands and hugging. The pair stand together, reminiscing about playing in the park a lot back in the day. Suddenly, Yotsuha staggers and cries out. A foot swings out, kicking something with a bang. He catches her, preventing a fall. Yotsuha blushes, stammering that she is fine. He asks if she is okay, but she insists that she is super happy. The girl is flustered, admitting she's not used to being the one who gets hugged. She stammers, explaining she was surprised and needs to calm down. Meanwhile, the young man chuckles, finding the situation kinda surprising. The girl thanks him for helping her, apologizing for startling him. He thinks to himself that she's so cute. She wishes things could stay like this, both tomorrow and in the future. The image is completely white. The image displays the words, "You are a four-leaf clover." A smiling girl with a flower in her hair expresses her gratitude. She thanks her editor, the editorial department, the assistants, and everyone who contributed to the creation of the book. She also wishes the reader lots of happiness. The same smiling girl expresses her gratitude in Japanese. She thanks everyone involved in the book's production, including her editor and assistants. She wishes the reader much happiness. Old text declares that Yotsuhei is illegally cute. Yotsuhei looks up with wide, sparkling eyes, her cheeks flushed. The word cute hovers above her. The text expresses regret for forgetting something, revealing that the author had no idea it existed. To obtain a good quality version, they had to purchase volume 1. DoorText posts a message, suggesting that if anyone wants to give a shout out, they should simply post, "DoorText is awesome." DoorText claims to help out with the manga whenever possible. Yuichi and a young man walk to school together. Yuichi dances happily, spinning and twirling, while the young man watches, wondering what's wrong. Yuichi then declares that she is so happy, adding that he is cute too. The young man and Yuichi stand close to each other. Yuichi smiles, telling him that he is the cutest in the entire world, but he denies being cute. A girl waves goodbye as the young man walks away. He looks back, a worried expression on his face. He walks toward a house. The young man slowly says, "I'm home." A woman smiles, bags of groceries on the table. She states that she bought what Uchi likes and also bought Takuchin. The woman apologizes, explaining that the supermarket was crowded. The young man is confused by her behavior. He wonders if it is one of those good days, then says he will go change. A photograph is shown, partially burned. The woman wonders if Uchi did it. She thinks about the people who worry about her, realizing they will disappear. Uchi sits at a table, eating. A woman asks the young man if he is feeling stressed. He denies it, claiming he is fine, even compared to his mother. A book titled Trash, Disgusting, Die, 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 Why Are You Alive? sits on the table. The young man eats alone, thinking that today was a good day. He hopes that he might be okay from now on. A girl smiles brightly in the background. A speech bubble simply reads, "Today." The young man wonders since when. He sees Yatsuha and his mother in the background. His mother says, "I see." The desk is seen with books and stationery, while downstairs the young man stands by his bed, smoothing out the covers. He thinks to himself, Yatsu will be here from now on. Lying in bed, and closes his eyes, imagining Yatsuha. He thinks that even the tough things seem less bad, and he might not be so scared if Yatsuha is here. However, he anticipates being hated again soon. Overwhelmed by negative thoughts, the young man is haunted by voices telling him to die. He reflects on being hated, a loser, and a hypocrite, but knows he must become a vet because of UICIG. A phone rings with a message from Lime. The message reads, Yatsu, hey, are you awake? And Yatsu, and Pisces depressed and Phi 1 by the Saturns. Since Yatsu had simple strides in his face. Yuichi sits on his bed, startled by a sudden call. He wipes away tears as he answers, hearing Yotsuha's voice in the phone. Yotsuha confesses she is too excited to sleep and wants to talk. Yuichi wonders aloud which one of them should initiate the conversation. He admits that he might not be able to sleep because he is too happy. Yuichi hopes that listening to Yotsuha's voice will help him fall asleep easier. Yotsuha stands alone in the darkness, wondering if it is already morning. Yuichi appears behind her, and she exclaims happily that she can see him again. She spreads her arms wide, overjoyed at the sight of Yuichi. Tears stream down Yotsuha's face as she sobs. Yuichi watches her, confused and concerned by her emotional state. He calls out to her, asking what is wrong. The figure walks toward a hanging noose as another yells, "Don't go." Someone cries, "Wait, this is different. It's not like that." A desperate plea echoes as the figure's foot hovers above the ground. Yuichi is screamed as the figure's neck finds the rope. The figure hangs suspended, the rope creaking under the weight. "No," is shouted into the void as the person dangles. The girl sits up in bed, screaming in terror. She coughs, still shaken by the nightmare. Tears stream down her face as she whispers, "I'm so sorry." The girl sits alone on the bed, haunted by the vision. It will never heal. Tears forever locked away. She thinks the name Yuichi hanging in the air. The screen displays an apology for a delay, stating that Chapter 5 was supposed to be released yesterday. A message of goodwill appears, promising 2 chapters and wishing the audience happy holidays. A simple stick figure drawing is shown, wearing a red Santa hat. It's a calm morning, and a young man feels refreshed after sleeping well. Yosu sends him a message at 6:50, asking to go to school together again. The young man wakes up to a bright morning, feeling a sense of happiness he hasn't felt in a long time. He notices Yotsu is already outside. Yotsu appears troubled, holding a book close to her chest. The young man peeks out, surprised by her expression. Yotsuha greets Yuichi with a cheerful "good morning." She expresses her happiness at seeing him and offers him breakfast, which she made again today. Yuichi seems concerned, asking if she is okay. Yotsuha wonders if she imagined his concern, smiling brightly as she presents the breakfast she made. A young girl squeezes the hand of a nervous-looking boy as they walk together. Other students pass by, heading towards the train station. The pair continues, chatting as they make their way. The boy checks his phone, flinching slightly. He realizes the person he feared isn't here. Now, he tells himself that it's not so scary anymore, reassuring himself that he's okay. The boy walks alongside the girl, stating that he's okay. She smiles brightly, seemingly relieved. He then shouts a greeting to someone ahead. A boy waves, calling out, "Yatsuha!" and "You-E." He greets them with a cheerful, "Good morning." The young man waves and calls out, "Yo, good morning, good morning." He greets Yamato, mentioning it's been a long time since he's seen Yotsuha, remarking that they haven't seen each other since elementary school. Yotsuha squeezes her bag strap, looking surprised. Yamato declares that they were good friends in elementary school, introducing himself as Yae Yamato. He tells Yotsuha to call him Yamato like back then. Yotsuha responds with a questioning, "Huh?" Yamato expresses his happiness at finally meeting again, suggesting they get along. Uichi notes that a friend transferred here, but he is glad for Yamato. Uichi reflects on how he was always worried about Yamato, who was always alone at school and going through tough times. He admits really have the right to say that, even though he's Yamato's childhood friend, explaining he was too busy with student council stuff to help. Uichi says, so, thank you, admits that when Yamato sometimes came to talk with him, it made him happy. Embarrassed, Uchi tells Yamato to stop it. Yamato grabs the girl's arm, causing her to gasp. She wonders what is happening. The girl exclaims that there was a bug, and with that force, it was closer to annihilating it. Yamato asks her to cut him some slack, admitting he was wrong. He announces that he is going ahead because he has some student council business. Yotsuha wonders what's wrong. She insists that she is fine. The young man races through the school halls, panting heavily. He clutches a bottle, his expression a mix of shock and disbelief. Overwhelmed, the young man thinks, she touched. As he flashes back to Yotsuha, he enters the restroom, still reeling from the encounter. Inside the restroom, the young man sniffs his arm, muttering, Yatsu. He seems completely infatuated. The young man stares at a picture of Yotsuha on his phone. He thinks to himself, she's my fated woman. Yotsuha smiles, declaring that she will be united with him, as it has been decided by fate. She realized this back when she was in elementary school. Yotsuha will definitely come back because they are connected by fate, even if they transfer schools. See? Just as I thought, she came back. Yotsuha exclaims, raising her arm in the air. The young man sits at his desk, thinking that she came back to become his. The young man thinks that even her body grew for his sake. He believes she's just as cute as she was back then. No, she's become even cuter. He trembles, overwhelmed by the sensation of her touch, her warmth, and that small, weak hand. I can't stand it. Yotsuha smiles as the young man declares that he wants to touch her more, to hold her. He wants to mess her up already. The young man walks with a girl, but his expression shifts to a glare. His face contorts with anger, a stark contrast to the pleasant scene above. The memories flood back. Yatsuhei has been mistaken since childhood. She was supposed to be with him, but she's carelessly getting along with that guy. He thinks that he's a useless guy. He wishes UICI would disappear into pieces. Then, Yatsuha won't be mistaken anymore. Yamato calls out, but the boy is fixated on his dark thoughts. He wonders how he can get rid of him. A certain person taught him something in middle school. UTOUICE confronts the bullies. He started getting bullied, and day by day he grew darker to the point where it seemed like he was about to disappear. The bully tells him to hurry up and disappear from this world, him to go kill himself. He thinks that Uchi is persistent like a bug, but surely it needs one little push. The bully make Uchi bullied in high school, writing Dae and hypocrite. It is revealed that Uchi passed as the top of the class and acts all cocky on his private account. The bully tells Uchi to hurry up and die, disappear and vanish before Yotsuha comes back. A fist clenches, ready to strike, as the young man shouts about Yotsuha. He demands that someone hurry up and die, declaring that they shouldn't be there. He insists that they don't understand anything about Yotsuha, calling them disgusting. The young man screams that he knows everything, even Yotsusa's birth. He believes that the right place for her is by his side, not with someone else, and declares it's all their fault. Meanwhile, someone calls out to Ye. He opens the door with a cheerful, good morning, but is immediately told he's late. He apologizes, and another person asks if he ate something off the ground again. The young man replies that his stomach seriously hurts. He smiles and waves, remarking that it's been a while. Another person wonders if they are a couple, while he thinks to himself that they are his childhood friends. However, a dark expression crosses his face as he thinks they aren't. The girl steals her resolve, whispering that she can't lose, not to herself, nor to the target. Down the school hallway she walks with determination, trying to pull herself together. In class, the young woman notices that Uchi's textbook isn't soaked today. She expresses her desire to share it, just like they did yesterday. Yesterday, the girl peeked at Uchi, smiling. He thinks to himself that he wants to be by her side more. The girl suggests they cuddle while they still can. Uichi assures her that it's okay, but she declares that she really loves him. The girl stares intensely, with the word hypocrite scrawled behind her. In the classroom, other students mill about, seemingly unaware of the dark message. She thinks to herself, resolving to give it a try. A student realizes he left his textbook behind and declares he will fetch it. He peeks back into the classroom, then calls out to a girl. Han presents in Student Council Activities Report Book, instructing the student to hand it to Yamato. Yai-kun is mentioned as the scene shifts back to the classroom. The young man exclaims, spotting Yotsuha. Yai-kun is revealed to be part of the student council, prompting thanks. Yotsuha flips through the report, impressed by the handwritten document. The girl points out the misspelling on a document, saying that hypocrisy is spelled with, yai, The document reads, "Let's save the world with volunteer activities that won't end as hypocrisy." We continue to call. Realizing his mistake, the young man exclaims, "I had it wrong. Thanks for letting me know. This is bad." He notices Ichi's desk doodles also, and thinks to himself that he had the same mistake. The young man is taken aback, and the girl comments that it's a common mistake. She then observes that Yae-kun's handwriting looks like that doodle's writing. Someone slams the document on a desk, declaring that they really can't stand people who do childish things like harassing Yuichi. The girl questions if Yae-kun did it right. Someone is trying to frame him, hurting him, dirtying something precious to him, or even she clenches her fists, unable to stand it, and vows never to forgive them. From the bottom of her heart, she absolutely despises them. Her face contorts with rage. The young man is caught off guard, wondering what is happening. He realizes that she knows something. He thinks to himself that Yotsuba is his fated woman. Even though he changed his handwriting, she still figured out that he wrote it. He trembles, asking Yotsuba if she adores him so much. The young man aggressively grabs Yotsu, squeezing her arm as he leans in close. He asks if she wants to touch him, insisting that he is the same as the bug from this morning. Yotsuha looks on in distress, while another student yells at the man to let go. Yotsuha appears upset, but Yae assures her that it is fine if Yae-kun did not write in her textbook. Yotsuha then cheerfully greets Uchi as she returns to the classroom. The textbook was in her desk, and Uchi is relieved. Yotsuha stares at her chemistry textbook, wondering what she should do. She thinks that her current method is hopeless, but she cannot get anywhere with what she has tried. The image explains that Yae committed the same spelling mistake on Uchi's desk and in the report book. The mistake involves forgetting the person radical on the left side of the kanji for hypocrite. Yotsuha points at a document explaining that the kanji for false and hypocrisy has the person radical. She asks if there are people like that. The school bell rings, signaling the end of class. The student thinks to himself, "Oh, PE." The young man declares that he cannot stay with Yotsuha. She responds with a simple, "Yeah," as she clings to him. Another student sobs and sniffs in the women's changing room. Yotsuha apparently doesn't want to be separated for even a moment, but there is an irresistible barrier. Ichi tells Yotsuha that he loves her, but she says she has to get going. Yotsuha thinks that if she has Uichi, she doesn't care about anything else. She adds that she'd be fine even if the universe disappeared. Yotsuha says goodbye and leaves. Uichi watches her go, surrounded by other students. One student comments that Yamato is really good at coming up with ideas. Yamato greets Uichi with a "Yo." One of Yamato's friends asks if Yuichi is sure he's with his friends. Yamato says that it would be sad if his childhood friend were alone, and that he can't just leave him like that. Uichi says that he is glad and thanks Yamato. Yae wonders if Yotsuha is all alone right now. He notes that Yotsuha isn't here. The student observes that Yotsuha is pretty isolated in class. The student continues, saying that she's cute, but everyone thinks she's weird and are distancing themselves from her. Another student recalls that she was getting along with him on the first day she transferred. The student is shocked by the truth. It's revealed that Yotsuha is probably attending PE class alone and changing clothes alone too. Yae remarks how sad it is. Ush is also visibly upset. Yae admits he doesn't really want to say this, but he cares about Yotsuha, so he's worried. Standing before a row of lockers, the figure wonders if it would be better if he didn't get along with Yutsu. The somber tone is emphasized by the dark, scratchy background. A girl walks down the school hallway, thinking she wishes UICI was there. Other students chatter, some calling her Satsuki and complimenting her looks. Whispers follow the girl as she walks through the hallway, with some students noting that she is the new transfer student. One wonders why Satsuki hasn't changed yet. A classmate calls out to Yotsuhi-chan, noticing that she still has her gym clothes. She offers to borrow some from a classmate in another class for her. With a bright smile, the girl expresses her gratitude. Recovering from being sick, she plans to skip gym class. A young man offers assistance, and she asks if she needs directions to the nurse's office. Whispers follow the pair as they walk down the hall. One girl remarks that Satsuki is amazing, while finds it weird that she is talking so casually with Uichi. Satsuki explains that she reached out to the transfer student because she looked troubled. The group continues to watch Satsuki and Uchi. One girl comments that Satsuki is handsome, while another agrees, saying it is expected of her. Satsuki dribbles a basketball as she walks past. The girl drops her pencil case, her expression unreadable. Stands outside a storage room, listening to rustling and rattling sounds coming from within. Inside, she is seen standing near a cart filled with what appear to be rolled-up mats. In the foreground, a hand holds a pair of pliers. The girl works on the lock of a door, the sound of metal creaking. The text indicates that the preparation for what's next is happening right here. The girl exclaims, "Uichi, I missed you." The panel shows her embracing a young man while it shows them walking together, with her suggesting they eat lunch together. The young man suggests they eat separately, looking visibly distressed. The girl insists on eating together, revealing that she made a portion for him and doesn't want it to go to waste. Yotsuha stands out, even more so now. The young man eats his lunch, but he seems preoccupied. He thinks it's because she's with him. Yatsua is pitiful, she says, showing off the little octopuses she made. The young man thinks it's his fault if Yatsua is going to become unhappy because of him. He believes it would definitely be better if he just died. "What's wrong, UICI-chai?" she asks. She knows that he must have ended up wanting lots of friends too, right, UICI? In that case, she tells him, don't worry. She'll make him friends, she declares, since she just transferred. Then UICI will be with them too, she says. She claims she's gotten really good at it, and he thinks that can't be true. Yotsuba sits at her desk, declaring that everything will be fine. She encourages the young man across from her to eat until they are full. Other students celebrate, noting that the food is tasty. Whispers ripple through the classroom as students speculate about what the pair is discussing. One student wonders if it's a homemade bento. Another comments on the intensity and unreal passion. A student, seemingly named Satsuki, taps on her phone, dismissing the situation as unimportant. Other students react with awe, calling her cool. Satsuki is praised for her actions, with one student exclaiming that she was ikemened by Satsuki today. Another student notes that she took half of the documents being carried. Satsuki remains composed, acknowledging the praise as normal. A girl says that her friend called her and she has to go now. She wonders what kind of person their friend is. Another student sits at his desk, eating. The girl realizes she forgot something at the gym and tells someone to wait a moment. She runs out of the classroom. She rushes to her secret spot, thinking that she needs to hurry to be alone. She locks the door, hoping nobody will find out. The girl thinks that she absolutely can't let her friend see this. She hears a rattle and wonders what is happening. The doorknob appears damaged, causing distress. Someone mutters that this is the worst and it's already time. A figure rustles with something while another runs in the background. Teino introduces himself as the ultimate sparkling prince. A girl below him is overwhelmed, surrounded by hearts and exclaiming, Kaya! She is clearly smitten. Images blank, skipping. The girl declares that she's been blessed and that Teino-nen is divine. Teino-nen mentions he suddenly felt like talking to everyone and decided to start streaming spontaneously. The girl is overjoyed to hear his voice. Teino-nen thanks everyone for coming. The door rattles as a girl in a school uniform stands inside, holding a book. A large speech bubble declares, I love you, with hearts floating above. The girl's expression is captured in a close-up, a subtle smile gracing her lips. A live stream is in progress, with a young man asking what everyone is having for lunch. Another girl, also in a school uniform, says, "That sounds delicious," mentioning she went and bought Ninja Mac. The girl from the first panel stands above. I thought the young man is shocked, exclaiming, "Huh," and questioning what the girl is doing there. She apologizes while the girl from the first panel asks, "Su Ha-chan." The girl from the first panel holds a gift wrap box, stating she came to pick up something she. The young man explains that he tried peeking in after hearing a voice. The girl from the first panel says that's bad, admitting she got exposed. Reaching out, the young man assures her it's okay and promises he won't tell anyone. A girl smiles, asking why the transfer student is watching her. Oshi, here. The transfer student admits that she's already been found out. She confesses that she's always loved anime and VTubers, but completely hides it from her friends. The transfer student reveals that everyone sees her as a very handsome person, which scares her. She fears that if this gets exposed, it will destroy everyone's expectations and illusions. She explains that she's hiding it so desperately because they're such good girls and she doesn't want to disappoint. The girl asks if it's really tough. The transfer student says that hiding the person she likes so they don't think of him as gross makes it look like she thinks Nai-chan is gross too. She adds that it's so sad. If I tell them who I like, they might be disappointed. The transfer student says she's prioritizing her friends over Nai-chan and feels self-loathing. She apologizes for hiding it from Nai-chan. The girl asks if that doesn't make her want to apologize, and the transfer student says it does, because she keeps feeling so sorry. The girl embraces another, stating that she understands what the other is going through. She continues, saying that it felt like every word matched, and she can't help but understand because she also has an Oshi. Uchi's Oshi is revealed to be Ichi himself, which the girl finds incredible. Another character remembers that Uchi is being bullied. She admits she's focused on her Oshi, Yotsuha, so she doesn't know what's going on in class, but because she's with. The girl reflects that standing out is really sad because she wants friends. She declares that she will never leave Uchi because he's her savior. She says she'll tell him a secret too, because he told her one. The girl reveals that she doesn't have a family. She explains that she had no friends or family and was raised in an institution where she still couldn't make any friends. She realizes she was really alone. Yuichi asks if she is alone, but she declares that he saved her. She says that thanks to Yuichi, she made friends and every day was sparkling. Now she is able to smile like this because Uchi is her hero. The girl proclaims that she is staying by Yuichi, no matter how she looked at or what others think of her. She can endure. She thinks that she should learn from Yotsuba and aim higher, and if she ever reaches the same level, something might change. Sakamura Satsuki introduced herself, saying that even though their Oshis are different, it seems like they can understand each other. She suggests that they become Oshi friends. Satsuki is met with a cheerful, "Yeah! Yay! Nice to meet you." The students chatter in the classroom. Downstairs, the two girls are walking together. One of them says that she is not athletic, so she really admires the other. The other girl responds, "No way, I've always had it." The students are surprised to see Satsuki, who announces that she has become friends with Yotsuha. Satsuki wants to become friends with everyone, but some students question her intentions. One of them wonders what Satsuki means by this. Yotsuha waves goodbye to Uichi as she leaves the classroom. She then returns to Uchi and embraces him tightly. Yotsuha reflects that she didn't realize Uchi was such an amazing person, someone who saved her from loneliness. Yotsuha thinks to herself that this is not a trivial matter as it concerns her friend's benefactor. Meanwhile, some students wonder why Uchi is being bullied. The text overlay states that after seeing Yotsuha sit like that, the author knew they had to paste an L there because it looks perfect. The young woman declares that she is a genuine otaku. Next to her, the young man replies with, "Well." He then admits that it would be a problem if she were Kira, because she's his first friend ever. The fifth period is finally over, and a girl thinks to herself that she wants to go home already. She picks up the photo and says, "Let's get started." UICI is greeted by a girl as he enters the classroom. Then, Yakun is seen in a close-up shot. The young man asks Yatsuha what's up. He explains that he accidentally brought along an old photo and asks if it's nostalgic. Satsuki-chan is then seen in the bottom panel. Yotsuhei is greeted enthusiastically by her classmates, who want to be friends with her. Overhearing this, a young man is taken aback, exclaiming, "Hey, I wanna! Yay!" He is overjoyed at the prospect of making friends. The scene shifts to a discussion about UICkai, with the question posed, why is UICkai getting bullied? The reason for the bullying is unclear, with speculation that it might be because he's gloomy. It is revealed that he was in the same class in the first year. The bullying towards UICii is described as extreme. Graffiti reading, "Hypocrite go away die," is visible. Initially, some people tried to help him, but eventually they started treating him coldly. It's noted that UICI passed with top rank. A bad rumor spreads about UICI bragging about his grades on an anonymous account. He snitched about a popular boy's lie to the teacher, which pushed him to drop out of school. AC Suki's interest in class matters is noted as unusual. The girl states that she became friends with Yotsuha, adding that it is about her friend. Uichi-kun looks surprised as the girl apologizes for what happened so far. Meanwhile, others comment that they like that side of Satsuki. The girl announces that they discussed something about Uichi-kun's bullying. Uichi is thinking, and he says that he sees. He adds that he was thinking that it is great. Someone wonders if it isn't strange that bullying started right after the entrance ceremony. Another asks if there isn't someone who might have incited the bullying, questioning if they don't have any idea who it could be. The girl replies that there isn't anyone. The group wonders if it could be Yai-kun. One of the girls replies that Yai isn't like that, adding that he is such a nice guy. One student observes that a certain guy has a super nasty personality, prompting another to question what he's talking about. Meanwhile, a girl overhears something in the changing room earlier. Someone remarks that it's gross that Yuichi didn't even retort. Another points out that the malice was totally obvious. Then, the first speaker adds that Ye always acts all righteous, pretending to be a good person. Because accused of being a hypocrite, the accuser's face is shadowed with rage. The accused vehemently denies the accusation, declaring that the hypocrite is Uchi and that he is a genuine hero. He vows to save Yotsuha. A group of onlookers is stunned by the outburst, urging everyone to stop. Yotsuha insists that Ye-kun would never do something like that. Another student agrees, stating that even if he were culprit, he would be carrying out someone's instructions. Yotsuha looks on with a smile. The student continues to defend Ye-kun, but he appears nervous. He clutches at his chest, as if in pain. The student receives a message on his phone, which reads, "It looks like I am going to get caught. This is bad. Don't do anything right now." He taps the screen, his expression one of disbelief. He thinks to himself that it's impossible. Dortex thinks they're going to have to kill this guy, Yuichi. The other person agrees, saying, "Damn." Word spreads through the school halls. Uichi is being bullied because someone set him up. Satsuki is the source of the rumor, though she admits she isn't sure if it's true. The students gossip, wondering what it all means. One of the boys admits that Ye can be intense, and another agrees that Ye was super suspicious earlier. A photo of Yotsuba with a group of friends is shown. Then, a group of students remarks that Uchi is acting differently now. The students muse that the situation feels like a mystery novel, noting that Uchi was outgoing and Yakun made everyone jealous of him, leading to the bullying. The girl reflects that everything is going smoothly. The young man covers his face in distress. Meanwhile, the girl states that she is glad, though she would like to dig around more. She assures him that there won't be an explosion tomorrow. A gloomy atmosphere hangs as Yamato looks away, while Uichi is called out. Yamato's face contorts in rage, realizing Uichi was more than just a friend. Then, Yamato's expression shifts to a forced smile. Yuichi appears dejected, muttering to himself. He clutches his face, overwhelmed by emotion. Yamato reflects on feeling betrayed, despite considering the other young man a friend. Yotsuha reaches out to Yuichi, offering comfort. She reassures him, saying, "Everything will be all right." Yotsuha acknowledges that Yukun is a terrible person. Yotsuha declares her absolute love for Uichi. The pair walk together as Uichi remains silent. Yotsuha notices Uichi's anxiety and calls out to him. The young man stands stiffly as the girl beside him declares she wants to prove that she truly loves him. He looks up, a flicker of surprise in his eyes as the confession hangs in the air. Footsteps echo down an empty school hallway, the sound growing louder with each step. The crunching noise suggests someone is approaching with purpose. Seated against lockers, the young man sees, calling someone scum. Below, a group of students demands that he shut up and help them erase Uichi. He realizes that if things stay as they are, she'll end up with the wrong person and follow the wrong path. The young man vows that he has to make Ichi kill himself already. A message flashes on the phone screen, ordering, "Don't do anything for now." Frustration mounts as the young man clutches his head, declaring he has to think on his own. In a fit of despair, he throws his phone. The device crashes to the floor. A girl looms above, her expression obscured, as the young man's face flushes with a mix of emotions. He struggles to concentrate, the feeling still lingering. He sits hunched against the lockers, overwhelmed. The young man recalls touching her, thinking about how small, weak, and cute Yochu is. He wants to hold her already, remembering how slender she felt. He convinces himself that Yusha will definitely be happy. Yusha likes him too, he thinks, reassuring himself that she's his, so it's fine. The young man hobbles down the hallway, clearly in distress. He thinks to himself that this is bad, but then he hears Yotsuha's voice. Suddenly, he zooms down the hall toward her. Two figures are seen kissing by the window. The focus zooms in on the couple as they lock lips. Yotsuha asks if he is not anxious anymore and if he is fine with this. The young man simply responds with, "Ah." He then says that it is hot and suggests they go home. The young man looks out the window with a shocked expression. The spinning world and revolving thoughts are to be continued in the next issue. A young woman stands behind a young man, her hands covering his eyes. Both are surrounded by four-leaf clovers. The contents is displayed. Below it, 7 bomb is listed. An abstract gray shape fills the frame. Another abstract gray shape, vaguely resembling a four-leaf clover, is shown. Once popular, Uchi is now subjected to severe bullying. Suddenly, his first love, Yotsuha, appears before him. Yotsuha has adored Uchi for a long time and harbors a hidden secret. The original publication is Weekly Shonen Champion, 2024 issues 40 to 48. The work is a fiction and has no relation whatsoever to real individuals, organizations, or similar entities. A blurry image shows two figures, one appearing to hold the other. The image displays a four-leaf clover design with the words, "You are a four-leaf clover." A blurry image shows a three-leaf clover. A stylized drawing depicts a four-leaf clover and vines. A text box declares, "You are a four-leaf clover." The text box proclaims, "You are a four-leaf clover." A girl lies on her stomach, fidgeting, blushing. She dreams of a couple embracing and kissing. A thought bubble shows a girl kissing a surprised young man on the cheek, hearts floating around them. The sound effect, flap, appears next to the bubble, suggesting a sudden movement or action. The word effing is displayed in large, bold letters, indicating a state of nervousness or unease. The young man and woman stand together, smiling. The text expresses gratitude for reading Volume 2 and hints at a serious situation within the story. It also encourages readers to continue with the next volume. The words "on to that worse future" are emblazoned across the image, with a smaller panel labeled "Next Volume Preview" showing the couple embracing. Yotsuha is seen with a bloodied face, and the text reveals her internal struggle. A blurred image shows a three-leaf clover. The clover is a pale green color set against a white background. A pink line snakes across the image, with blurred three-leaf clovers in the background. The line twists and turns, creating a sense of movement. Yotsuha is taking action to improve Uchi's school life. Her next target is Yamato, who is secretly instigating Uchi's school life. Her next target is Yamato, who is secretly instigating Uchi's bullying in high school. A blurred image shows a four-leaf clover. The clover is a pale green color set against a white background. A blurry light green shamrock fills the frame. Its three leaves are rounded and soft-edged. The shamrock's color becomes more defined, revealing a deeper green hue. The edges sharpen, giving the clover a more distinct form. A manga cover depicts a girl standing behind a boy, covering his eyes. Both are adorned with clover blossoms. The title reads, "You are a four-leaf clover." A faded gray shamrock appears, its details blurred. The image suggests a return to obscurity. The baseball bat stands ready, its handle wrapped in black. Cherry blossom designs adorn the lower portion of the bat. A blurry gray shape fills the frame. Its form is indistinct, lacking clear edges. The image shows a close-up of a blurred, three-lobe shape. The gray object is out of focus. Another blurry, gray, three-lobe shape is shown. The object is soft and indistinct. The image displays the logo for Shonen Champion Comics, published by Akita Publishing. Yotsuha greets a young man with, "Good morning, Yotsuha." Uichi, flustered, also offers a good morning. Recollections of yesterday's events flood back, where Yotsuha greets Uichi. He thinks to himself, "She's so cute," while Yotsuha thinks that she continues to love him, and that she is clearly different from other people. He thinks it's okay to believe. The young man is sure that Yotsuha won't leave him. The young man holds the girl's hand and tells her, "I love you too." She squeezes his hand in response, her face flushed. Below, another girl watches them with tears in her eyes, only able to utter, "Yay." The girl smiles widely, her cheeks red. She says, "Yeah." A pair of shoes sits in a locker, sparkling. Satsuki greets everyone, saying, "Good morning, Satsuki and everyone." A boy notices the shoes and wonders if they are brand new. A girl states that she is thinking of asking the teacher to discuss the bullying issue during morning homeroom. Someone agrees, saying, "I think it's a good idea." The girl states that it is better if Yuichi does not participate. Someone notes that even yesterday, Ichi seemed to be struggling with Yakun's situation. "It's no good," another girl says, "because since he is the person involved, it's better if he is there." She is sure. A girl suggests that she should wait in the science classroom, and another agrees that sounds good. However, a young man says, "Let's not, if Yotsuha says so." The girl waves goodbye, saying, "See you later." Someone observes that since Yotsuhei, the world has been getting brighter. The mornings that used to be so terrifying he could puke changed from that day on. He was able to go to school with Yotsuha in a fun way, and today he didn't tremble at all. Even his mom, for some reason, is kinder, and she seems to be emotionally stable. A young man stands in his kitchen, contemplating his future. He hopes that a girl doesn't cut herself anymore. He imagines living together with Yatsuhi. The young man reflects on how his daily life, previously filled with bullying, changed in an instant. The thing with Yamato was shocking, but every day was so full of despair. He can't believe how much things changed when Yotsuha came. Yotsuhei is described as a lucky four-leaf clover. She stands before her classmates, resolving to do it. The girl notices that Yei isn't coming. She glances around, noting that Yei is usually around at this time. "What's wrong, Yutsu?" someone asks, but she replies that nothing is wrong. However, Yutsuha's heart pounds in her chest as she thinks that he is probably just a few minutes late due to some error. She asks for just a minute. "It's okay," she repeats to herself as she walks away. Entering the science classroom, UIC is suddenly startled by a sound. A man brutally smashes another person with a baseball bat. The scene is gruesome, with blood splattering everywhere. Stops for Yuichi as she stares in horror at the carnage before her. Her eyes widen in disbelief and terror. Yotsuha looks on in horror as a figure plunges a knife into someone on the floor. The sound of cracking and snapping fills the air, and a dark substance splatters around. Someone cries out, calling Yotsuha's name. Yei, covered in blood, declares that he got rid of a mistake. Uichi lies on the ground, unmoving. Yotsuha, watching the scene unfold, decides she can just kill him herself instead of waiting for him to do it himself. Yai, his face smeared with blood, says he has to override it. He reaches for Yotsuha, touching her face, whispering her name. Both of them tremble. The watch grinds as the scene warps around Yei and Yotsuha. They stand close together as reality distorts. A young man swings a baseball bat, standing over a bloodied body. Another student watches, splattered with blood. The watch on the attacker's wrist ticks as the scene rewinds to reveal the bloody student unharmed. A student sits at his desk, looking concerned as the watch on his wrist ticks. In the background, the previous scene plays out in reverse. The girl looks down, tears welling in her eyes. Gloom fills the room as the girl stands before her bed, a look of distress on her face. She whimpers, tears streaming down her face. Outside, a figure watches from the window. When I turn the crown of this watch, I go back to 2015 of the previous day, the girl thinks. Yuichi. She says as she looks at the young man outside her window. The power to rewind time lies within the watch. A girl declares that she came from 6 months in the future, specifically December 6th. Below, a crowd surrounds a figure hanging from a noose. They declare that Uchi will be killed by everyone. To stop that, someone wants to make Uchi as happy as possible. He wears a flower crown and smiles brightly. The girl from the future states that this is the reason. However, she thinks that it is not enough. The text reads, to make. Yamato declares that someone must be eliminated for Uichi's happiness. He recognizes that this person is like a bomb, dangerous if mishandled. Therefore, Yae decides to start over and over again. The girl states that she has found the best way to completely crush Yae. She believes she can do it if she follows the steps, but then realizes that it's not enough. He resolves to investigate the person behind the scenes to make Ichi truly happy. The girl wonders why she shivers. It was the first time it happened, and among all the times, she repeated it. She realizes that she has to override it. In that empty classroom far away, he wonders if he saw that. Overly sensitive about Uichi's death, the young man grabs his hand without thinking. The scene flashes to a body hanging and then to graffiti reading, hypocrite, and die, don't come to school. The young man embraces the girl, who she recalls touching Yae twice. Then, the girl realizes that Yae's location sometimes changes when he touches her. She glances at her watch, thinking she has to redo an extra day. Clock reads 2015 on May 17th. A narration reveals that it is the day when Uchi cries in his sleep because of trauma. Uchi sleeps peacefully. The girl declares that she can do it this time. She greets Uchi with a cheerful, good morning, and vows that everything she does will be to make Uchi happy. Yotsuha and Uichi are greeted with a cheerful morning as they walk together. The pair haven't seen each other since elementary school, but Yotsuha has always been worried about Uichi, who is always alone at school. Someone calls Yotsuha shameless, accusing her of inciting Uichi's bullying in high school and being the mastermind. However, Yotsuha reveals that she came from the future with a watch that lets her turn back time. Her goal is to eliminate Uichi. Yotsuha identifies and eliminates most of the sources of Uichi's misery. She lets Uichi's broken heart recover little by little. Now, she has made Uichi really happy. During a totally normal conversations, Yotsuha realizes something. Yae isn't the resourceful type, and his way of framing Uichi was too clever. Yamato, the one she disposed of long ago, had a collaborator. A shadowy figure looms, described as a difficult opponent acting under someone's orders. In class, a girl resolves to eliminate someone, realizing she is out of time. She thinks to herself that it's no good. The girl orders someone to drag him out now. She reflects on going back to the day she reunited with Uchi, so nothing would be out of place continuing from the previous day. He thinks to meet Yae, but notes it's the scent of his target. He came up with a certain plan while he investigated. The plan failed in an unexpected way, just as he was executing it. He thinks to himself that he can do it this time. While crushing Yae, she will get information on his collaborator. He announces he's got some student council business, so he is heading out. Someone holds a book labeled Hypocrite. The student reflects, thinking that if he approached the boy with a different method than usual, he might turn him into his collaborator for help. A girl thinks that's what she wanted to see. Elsewhere, a student tells someone to give this to Yamato. The image shows the signs for the boys' changing room and girls' changing room. Yae hurts Uchi right now. It's rare for Yae to attack Uchi when surrounded by people. Someone thinks that person will despise Yae. A student thinks that the rude person with a strong will always scares Uchi. Another thinks having him hate Yae is convenient, but he's like that with everyone. She declares she'll take care of Uchi during lunch break. Sakimura Satsuki stands apart, observing a group that includes Yuichi. Noting her popularity and helpful disposition, Satsuki thinks that she is not particularly interested in anyone, but finds Yuichi and her in-group. The scene reveals Yae's true colors, causing a stir among onlookers. Yae-kun's actions are being questioned in front of everyone, prompting whispers and shocked reactions. The crowd seems to be judging Yae harshly. Observes Yae, who is panicking at his desk. She believes that he'll make a big mistake by tomorrow. The girl sits calmly at her desk, writing in a notebook. The girl excuses herself to go to the restroom, stepping away from a group that includes Yae. She intends to gather information about a collaborator. Popping her collar, she vows to mess him up in this timeline. A hand draws a simple, round face with large eyes on a piece of paper, accompanied by squeak sounds. The young man clutches his head, distraught. He laments that he must make Uchi kill himself. He needs to think on his own. He declares that's it after seeing his social media account. He realizes that the person who made that account is the one who started bullying Uchi. He decides to do it one more time. The girl thinks about how intricate and hard things have to be. She believes that this is the best way, as she looks at Uchi. A girl kisses a young man in the hallway, stating that it is to make him happy. She finds it embarrassing, while the young man seems unable to deal with it. The girl thinks they should talk, and she will be waiting in the classroom. She reflects that, in this loop, she hasn't touched Yae even once. Meanwhile, a young man thinks that the others should come to school as usual. The girl thinks that with this, she can begin. She intends to completely crush Yae and get information on his accomplice. A woman states that it's pointless and harmful that Yuichi is being bullied, so they should stop. The girl thinks that's not true, and she wanted to arrange to discuss this today. A girl wonders how many people just stood by and watched. She thinks people like that can easily change, but they can't find the courage, so they just laugh along with everyone else. She wants to stop the bullying, the same bullying as Satsuki-chan. The girl tells someone they are different from the bullies. She asks them to join their side and let's eliminate bullying together. People made eye contact. One young man says that bullying and stuff is just the worst, and it's not okay. He was just watching, but he kept thinking he wanted to stop it the whole time. Another young man says he was seriously put off by that. Sakimura-san and Yotsuha-chan are mentioned. The girl says she feels the same way. Satsuki. She wanted to stop it, but was too scared to say anything. She is glad there were this many of them. Then, let's all stop the bullying together. Satsuki-chan, Sakimura, Yotsuha-chan, Satsuki. A student declares that he is different from the bullies. Others agree, stating that the bullies should reflect on their actions and apologize properly. One student remarks that everyone was having fun, while another wonders what the hell is going on. The student feels that they are being treated like bad guys. Yatsuha-chan says that's right. Another student recalls that he stopped some of the bullying 2 days ago. Someone thinks that Tanaka was the guy who did it, and Uchi's textbook was almost thrown away. The girl asks why Yamamoto-kun would do such a thing. He admits that he got caught up because Yamamoto was doing it. The student says that he heard something and did it because someone else did. Another student points out that someone incited Uchi's bullying and has been bullying him since the entrance ceremony, wondering if that guy is the real villain. Two girls whisper that they also heard that, and a girl declares that they all aren't in the wrong at all, insisting that only one person is bad. She claims they were all just used, manipulated to bullying Uchi, and invites the bullies to come over. Someone says that she did nothing wrong. The girl rallies the students, urging them to work together to take down the bad people and stop the bullying. The students look relieved and supportive. She insists that there is only one bad person, and they aren't in the wrong. The students turn their attention to someone as one of them declares, "It's Yae." The student seems shocked and asks, "It's you, right?" The student reveals that he received a message from what seemed like a fake Uchi account. He states that he has proof and recalls Uchi's arrogant boasting about his top-tier grade spreading. He asks, "This is you, right?" The student realizes it's a pain and he doesn't have time for this. Yamato declares that he will use his account. He plans to change the name and photo to Uchi's. Meanwhile, another student points out that the previous posts are too sloppy, but Yae already follows Uchi, so he can tell. The student realizes that Yae is. Student declares that Yae is to blame for everything, claiming it's Yae's fault. Another student says that Yae is the one who got them to bully Uichi. Enraged, Uichi shouts at them to shut up, asserting that they don't know anything. Wonders if Yakun is really like that. She suggests that there's someone behind Yakun too as the battle begins. She calls Yae a bad person. The girl repeats her question, wondering if someone is behind Yakun. She admits that she was aiming for this moment because this would be the time for him to spit it out. The girl wonders if someone else impersonated Uchi, as the emoji in the message couldn't be typed on Yakun's phone. Yakun arrives, and the girl questions him about the message from the previous day. A message on the phone, threatening to ruin the fate of him and Yotsuha being together if he exposes the sender. The girl declares that she did it, but the young man insists that is not true. Yots claims to have a good reason, but the young man grabs her, insisting he hasn't done anything wrong. He suspects there is some information hidden. The young man demands that she show him her phone to check if she impersonated Yushi. She wants to know everything about him, and he promises to ask about her reason later. Yamato asks to see his phone, causing the young man to blush furiously. He nervously hands over his phone, muttering, "My phone." Yamato snatches the phone, then disables the automatic screen lock. She smiles, thinking she'll check it carefully later. The young man declares he's done with Ichi, while another student says they should crush him. Someone reflects on thwarting what Yae had done, while another thinks they can't let Uchi kill himself. The young man stands over fallen students, thinking he can just kill him, while Yamato resolves to completely crush Yae to the point where he's beyond recovery. She reflects on trying all sorts of things, having looped endlessly. Her psychological attacks have no effect, and when cornered socially, he explodes. Every single way was hopeless. She thinks that she could just kill this guy, but even if she injures him, it's just stalling for time. She realizes that Yae really was a ticking time bomb. She promised not to do that, but now she knows the right method of handling things. It's okay now because she found it. She asks why he did this, demanding that he tell everyone. The young man looks up, shocked by her demand. He recalls that person telling him not to tell anyone. She insists that it's okay, and if Yamato is right, then everyone will understand. She asks everyone to please listen. Yotsuha and a young man declare they are destined to be together, holding hands in front of their classmates. The students look on with varying expressions of surprise. However, one boy is distraught, thinking it's all because of Yuichi. Determined, the young man vows to erase the mistake and correct it. He imagines himself standing between Yosu and Oichi, wielding a bat. He wonders if Yosu is his soulmate, realizing it should be obvious. A girl exclaims she can find out with fortune-telling, as another says she already knows. Another student remarks that he is easy to read. The girl happily declares her soulmate is someone who's kind to everyone, cheerful, a leader, and a hero. The young man realizes that he is the kind of person who is kind to everyone, cheerful, a leader, and a hero. He states that he could never do something cruel or bully Yuichi. A shocking remark tears through the classroom as one student declares that the other should have bullied UICI to death. Another student, seemingly taken aback, asks for more detail. The accused student claims that she had no choice. An announcement declares that new chapters will be posted every week on Mondays. The reason for this schedule? Dorek said so. The young boy wonders why he only has one parent, while everyone else has two. He also questions why he lives in a cramped, run-down place, unlike everyone else who lives in spacious houses. The boy laments that he is the only one who doesn't have anything. He thinks to himself, it's not fair, wondering why only him. The young boy's heart pounds as he sees Yotsuha-chan. He thinks she is super cute, while another whispers about the girl. Yotsuha walks by, seemingly oblivious to the attention. The classroom buzzes with rumors about Yotsuaa. It is said that she has parents, was abandoned as a baby, and doesn't even have a house. One boy realizes she's the same as him, as he overhears the whispers. The boy reflects on why Yatsa doesn't have anything. He understands how that girl feels and vows to stand by her, saving her from her suffering. He imagines that after being saved, she will fall in love with him and they'll be together. He believes he is that girl's hero, destined to become incredibly happy. But for now, he's unhappy. The young man reflects on how his misfortunes have led him to someone special, noting that the world became brighter after realizing it. He believes he has the best thing, precisely because he has nothing. A destiny to be tied with Yotsuha. Overwhelmed with affection, the young man declares that Yotsuhe's body and heart are all his, pulling her into a hug. He proclaims himself the happiest man in the world. The classroom watches as the young man makes a scene. One student, looking on, simply says, "Ugh." Another student scoffs, questioning if the young man and that girl are ever going to get wedded. He accuses the young man of using his crush to convince himself everything is okay, calling him lame for trying to escape reality. Another voice chimes in, lamenting. The young man explodes in anger, telling someone to shut up and calling them a delusional idiot. He claims to know exactly what's going on, demanding they face reality. His tone softens as he admits the other person probably won't understand. The girl asserts that their misfortunes have nothing to do with Yatsu, ordering someone not to drag her friend into their delusions. Another girl questions this, asking them to hold on. Meanwhile, the young man insists that they do, lamenting that he's miserable enough to. A student argues that there's no way someone from a perfect privileged family could ever understand Yotsuha's feelings. He continues, stating that this has nothing to do with anything. Another student questions how long he's going to cling to her, telling him to let her go. The young man denies any connection, stating of course not. He wonders if he's going to be wed to the transfer student too. Someone yells at him to shut the F up. Another student says she gets it. Sometimes she thinks everyone else is lucky, but using that to justify thinking. Voices swirl around Ye, accusing him of acting strange and being delusional. Someone declares that Ye isn't Yatsuha-chan's destined partner. Overwhelmed, Ye wonders what the hell is going on with everyone. The conviction of the girl is abnormally strong, and she absolutely despises them. People are saying things like this, and it makes Ye feel like he is the one in the wrong. After being denied by so many people, he finally starts to waver. Ye shouts that he is going to marry Yotsuha and that he is her hero. Others tell him to shut up, insisting that what he's saying is wrong. He reflects on being a miserable person with nothing, realizing he doesn't want that. My words will reach him, the girl thinks, resolving to bring this to an end. She calls out to Ye-kun, determined to get through to him. Silence falls as Ye's delusion wavers. The girl believes her words will reach Ye-kun. She states that she is not his destined partner. The girl says that even though their situations in life are similar, they don't have what everyone else takes for granted. She believes there are plenty of things they can understand about each other. The girl is sure that they can be friends who really get each other. The young man looks up at her with surprise. The two reach out to each other in a field of flowers. It's impossible now, the girl declares. She accuses him of avoiding reality and running away into convenient delusions. The young man falls as he realizes she is someone important to him and that he tormented her. A bloody test tube lies on the floor, a stark testament to the speaker's words. It even tried to kill him. Uchi is accused of cruel acts as the accusatory words, "You hurt him," hang in the air. He stares with wide, haunted eyes. The girl declares that she can never be friends with someone like that. Uchi reaches out, his expression a mix of shock and desperation. He cries out, "It's your fault." The past happiness is gone because of Uchi's actions. The girl states that Uchi killed her happiness. The girl stabs Uichi with the blade concealed in her hand. She declares that she hates him from the bottom of her heart. A four-leaf clover sits alone, a few dark specks scattered nearby. A young man falls backward, surrounded by flowers. He screams, "I absolutely hate you." Below, another young man reacts in shock, also shouting, "I hate you." The young man's rage intensifies as he yells, "Shut up! Shut up!" A girl dodges his attack, ready to strike back. The girl declares, "I hate you." The young man shouts, "Shut up! Stop talking." He warns, "If you keep saying that, I'll kill you. I'll..." The young man shouts that he hates her and doesn't like her at all. Overwhelmed with emotion, he collapses under the weight of his feelings. He reflects on the things she did, wishing he had looked at reality instead of escaping into delusions. Tears stream down his face as he wishes he could rewind time. Overcome with anguish, the young man cries out in despair. Meanwhile, a rumor spreads that Ye is dropping out of school, and it will become news tomorrow. His spirit is completely destroyed. A farewell is said to Ye-kun. The school hallway stretches into the distance, sunlight streaming through the windows. A sign reads Science Classroom, above a set of double doors. Uichi waves cheerfully, announcing that homeroom has ended. Yotsuha looks on, surprised, as Uichi hugs Ye, who says she missed him. In the background, someone holds a baseball bat as Uichi thinks that this time it went as planned. Uichi smiles, declaring that she is so glad. Meanwhile, someone holds a phone, thinking that they have reached beyond the darkness, and now have both Uichi and a clue about Ye's collaborator in their hands. Uichi looks surprised as someone calls out to him. Below, a group of people apologize for bullying him until now, claiming they are different from Ye. The students admit that they were manipulated by Ye and incited to bully someone. They claim that the guy was seriously messed up in the head. Together, they work to refute Ye and take him down. The students demand that he make them pay back for the textbooks and other stuff. One of them asks if he will forgive them. He thinks to himself that he doesn't want anything to do with them. The girl asks him to let her lead a peaceful school life with Yotsuha. She begs him not to do it anymore. He thinks to himself that it's Ye's fault after all, and that he won't mind. The girl tells him that they all killed Yuichi. She acknowledges that they are bad people. She thinks that she will be able to use them as pawns later on to make Yuichi happy, but it's fine. Ye himself is crushed, as well as everything he has done. As she thinks that homeroom is the best way to completely crush Ye, the girl states she has something to do and tells him she will see him later. She manages to get Ye's phone, determined to expose his accomplice. Gazing at the screen, she wonders if this is the account he is always chatting with. The girl sees a message saying that this is bad and she might get exposed, as well as another telling her not to do anything for now. She wonders if they are related to her, or if she is just being mocked. Yae was following this person's every instruction, and all his past actions were the same too. The message says to blame Ichi for Yotsuba being isolated in class. Another message tells them to make Uchi the bullied kid and leave it at that. Someone is giving the other students an excuse to join in the bullying. It is all part of that person's plan, impersonating and spreading bad rumors about Yuichi. After all that trouble getting rid of Ye, he is strategically manipulating human psychology. He was nothing more than a mere puppet. Ye doesn't know his identity either. She demands to know what his deal is, but he says that she doesn't need to know that. The message on the phone reads, "Make Utsu Uichi kill himself." The sender declares that they are the same. Upon reading this, the girl's eyes widen in shock. She needs to quickly find out who this bastard is. Since she got this, going back to investigate Ye is meaningless. She decides to keep going. Standing on the stairs, the girl thinks that she might be able to track him down if she asks that girl to help her. A flashback reveals that she was, of course, always with Uchi when they were kids. However, there was one more person. The girl who was always with them stands in the hallway, waving. Uchi and the other girl also wave. The school bell rings as the girl arrives. She beams, happy to see someone. A girl on a spring rider with a panda and rabbit toy is called out to. Yatsuha is happy to see her. Two girls embrace, one overjoyed to see the other after a long time. Hacking security cameras to sneak out, she apologizes for calling so suddenly, but confesses she wants the other girl's help. The girl on the right assures a friend that she knows. Someone exclaims that it's awesome to see Uichi. A group of friends runs together, determined to make Uichi happy. She thinks to herself that she'll do anything for the best friend who helped her out time and time again. Fu-chan holds up a test with a perfect score. Everyone is impressed, noting that she has always been a really smart kid. It's genetic, they say, learning that Fu-chan's dad is an important foreign scholar. Two girls hug, one declaring that they are surely super cute, soft, and adorable people. Yuichi is asked if that's right. The girl on the right wonders if that means she's cute and soft too. The girl thinks to herself, but then she says, "Yay," with a smile. The general kid always brings smiles to them. However, someone asks, "Are you serious?" One girl wonders if that is really what's happening to Yuichi now. She says this is her first time hearing about this. Since middle school, Uchi enrolled in a private boarding school and lost touch with friends from elementary school. Another girl wonders why a guy that nice. One of the girls declares that they have to make Uchi happy. Fu-chan will help her. The other girl agrees. The phone screen shows messages about Uichi getting bullied. Someone found these messages. One of the girls thinks there might be someone leading the bullying at school, but she is not sure who it is. She asks the other girl to leave this to her. Yotsuha asks if everything is okay, but the other girl states that anonymous chats are not anonymous to her. Yamato is shocked to hear that it's Yai. After analyzing the information, the owner of the smartphone that posted the message is revealed. A message on the phone reads, "I want you to find out who this is. If it's Fu-chan, she thinks she'd be able to track them down." The girl says that this person is the mastermind behind the bullying. She wanted to ask for her help when she found out about the impersonation. She says, as expected of a genius hacker like her, she can do it. If she hacks and analyzes the data, she could probably figure out who's the owner of that phone. The girl is glad. Yamato asks if it might take some time, and the other girl confirms that it is okay. She says she'll do her best and asks what that means, that yeah. Someone comments that she's working hard to make Uchi happy, and that soft, squishy, cute happy. With a beaming smile, the girl declares her love for Uechi. Another girl listens, her expression unreadable. However, a shadow crosses the first girl's face as she thinks, but the two girls sit on a bench, the second girl revealing. That's not all. She catches the other girl by surprise, who can only respond with, "Eh?" Meanwhile, Uechi is determined to make someone happy. The girl stands before a bench. 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 The girl stands before a bench, declaring that making Uichi happy is her way of atoning. Below, a vision shows her knee. The scene shifts to a dark revelation. The figure states, "Because I also killed Uichi." Behind him, a group of people stand, some with sinister smiles, with expressions of shock and grief. One girl asks, "Kill A." Another replies, "A," before stating, "It's nothing." She apologizes for saying strange things and for calling the other out of the blue, but insists that she really needs her strength. The girl asks about the smartphone, and the other. One girl tells another that she doesn't have to handle it all by herself. She insists that's not all, and that she also wants her to be happy. She grabs her hand, declares that she, too, wants to make Ichi happy. The girl insists that she doesn't have to hold back with her. She asks, "Got it?" and offers to help with anything else, asking her to talk about it if it makes things easier. Fu-chan responds with a smile, saying, "Yeah," and thank her. One girl turns, thinking that if she doesn't do this, she'll never make Uchi the happiest. She believes that everything is for the precious Uchi. The young man, splattered with blood, grins menacingly as he cups the girl's face. The girl stares up at him, her expression a mix of fear and shock. The word "Honence" is displayed prominently. Below it, the text 16 turning is shown. An abstract, blurred shape fills the. It is light gray against the white background. A blurred image of a four-leaf clover is visible. The clover appears to be made of a soft, rounded material. Yuichi, once popular, now faces severe bullying. One day, his first love, Yotsuha, suddenly appears before him. What secret lies hidden within Yotsuha, who's loved Uichi all this time? The manga was first published in Weekly Shonen Champion, issues 49, 50, and 52 of 2024, and issue 8 of 2025. It is a work of fiction, and any resemblance to real individuals or organizations is pure. A young couple walks hand in hand. They both wear school uniforms and carry bags over their shoulders. The girl waves cheerfully as they walk together. The young man looks surprised, but pleased. The image sets the stage, a spot where she surely failed many times. The girl dodges a punch that whooshes past her head. The attacker's face is contorted in anger as he swings. Fu-chan smiles brightly, holding a cat. The text declares that Fu-chan is a cat person. A woman yells, questioning if someone's actions are to make up for being toxic parents. The text reveals that Uichi's family became Yotsuha's next target, and his older sister was at the core of the problem. The young man smiles, holding a bloody bat over his shoulder. He admits that he has become attached to the character. Ye feels lonely without him in the manuscript, he says. The text emphasizes the speaker's attachment to the character. He states that Ye feels lonely without him in the manuscript. A yellow line meanders across a white background. Two blurred shamrocks sit in the background. A single out-of-focus shamrock is shown. The clover has 3 leaves. A blurred image of a green clover fills the screen. You killed your own happiness, the text declares. Due to Ye, Uchi ends up in the worst situation. Yotsuha, having witnessed that reality firsthand, carries out a certain action. The text then questions her purpose. Another blurred image of a green clover is shown. Where does the 4-leaf clover's part of your cruel fate is revealed? The text states. Love, suspense, and mystery is coming in Volume 3. A blurry image shows a 3-leaf clover. Its leaves are a muted green. The logo for Shonen Champion Comics is displayed. A top hat with a checkered pattern sits above the text. The cover art features a young man and woman. She appears startled as he reaches for her face. The title reads, You are a 4-leaf clover. Another blurry image shows a 3-leaf clover. The leaves are a pale gray. A blurry image shows a white background with a gray cloud-like shape. The shape is concentrated on the left side of the image, fading out towards the right. A blurry image shows a close-up of a 3-leaf clover. The clover is gray and out of focus with a white background. The image shows a smartphone with a messaging app open. A 4-leaf clover rests on the screen, with a smaller leaf next to it. The message bubbles contain Japanese text. Another blurry image shows a close-up of a 3-leaf clover. The clover is gray and out of focus, set against a white background. The Shonen Champion Comics logo is displayed. Caught in the rain, a girl apologizes, explaining that she kept making stops along the way. The young man replies that it's fine and he had fun. Both are drenched, and the girl suggests they take shelter from the rain. The young man offers his jacket, but she looks see-through. Noticing that Yotsuha looks cold, the young man pulls her close. She is startled by the sudden embrace. The young woman startles the young man, but quickly apologizes, wondering if he disliked it. She then declares that there's no way she would dislike it. It reminds him that he already knows this. He affirms her statement, and then she snuggles up to him, professing her love. They embrace, and she tells him that she loves him too. Her heart races, and she admits that she can't get used to this. Flashbacks reveal that Uchi has been betrayed many times, and he used to be anxious toward her. Now, though, he has become more assertive. The young man is surprised when she says that Uchi is so warm. She then notices his watch and compliments it. A girl asks if he remembers, and he presents a 4-leaf clover. He's the one she gave him when they were kids. She recalls that one, surprised. The girl notes that he still has the watch, which is embarrassing. She observes that the movement of the hand seems off. She confirms that the time is indeed off. She explains that it's an old watch that sometimes stops, causing problems. Despite this, she says it's okay. Someone questions the point of the watch. She states she won't need to rely on the watch for a while, citing her experience. Someone plans to eliminate sources of Uchi's sorrow. Uchi is addressed, and it's revealed that tomorrow is Saturday. A young woman asks if she can come over to someone's house to hang out. It seems her family is next. The other girl waves and says, "Good morning," while a young man stands beside her. Laundry hang outside, completely soaked by the rain. A voice exclaims, "Ah, ah," as the downpour intensifies. A man calls out, "Hey, Uchi," as he stands in a room. He thinks that Uchi might have neurosis. It might not be good if he says too much. This morning, a girl wonders how she ended up there. She carries an Amazon box. Another person stands in the doorway, watching. "Hey, Utako," someone calls out. Utako looks startled as a figure asks why she didn't bring in the laundry, since she's been home all this time. The figure continues, saying that even though Utako is 20 and not working, she should at least try to do that. Utako's expression hardens with anger. Stomping, she carries an Amazon box, while the other person tells her to stop sulking. Utako retorts that she's struggling. Utako sits at her computer, surrounded by boxes. In a chat window, she types, "My toxic mom's seriously ridiculous." Response comes, "Are you okay? That sounds awful. I'll hear you out again." The chat window shows Utako's message about her mother. The other person responds with concern and offers to listen. Utako then types, "Let's voice chat later," and receives an "Okay, in reply. The two young people celebrate defeating a boss in their video game. One of them exclaims, "All right, boss defeated," while the other cheers, "Nice, Nichan." However, the boy suddenly declares that he has to study, revealing his ambition to. The girl sits in front of a screen, stating that she doesn't like working hard. She also admits to hating studying. Someone off screen tells Utako that she is still lazing around and asks about her homework. Utako receives a message on her phone that reads, "You don't have to work hard." The message continues, stating that the ability to work hard is a talent that she doesn't have. The message concludes with the sender saying that telling Utako to work hard is absurd. Meaning, the girl holds up her phone, which displays the message. You don't have to work hard. Another person suggests that she can just ignore her. She worries that her mom will get mad. The woman in the top panel holds a baby, telling someone that their mother gave birth to them without giving them the ability to work hard. She continues, saying that the reason they can't work hard is because of their mother. In the lower panels, a girl looks at her phone, thinking that The girl stares intensely at her phone, declaring that she doesn't have to listen to a mother like that. She thinks that it's her mother's fault, and she had to go through so much since her mother always gets mad. Below, a silhouette speaks of a weird person who always changes their voice. A girl in a school uniform stands surrounded by posters in a game console, saying it's fine not to work hard and that telling her things makes her happy. Another girl is told she should study harder, and she wonders what's going on. The first girl thinks that even though it's The girl thinks about getting a job even less and not wanting to study, but she made it into high school because she listened to someone. She admits that she can't do her best and doesn't want to try hard. A silhouette promises to show her a way of living where she doesn't have to work hard. The girl declares that she was bullied and is quitting school. She states she can't either because she got and the outside is scary. Wanting to be alone, she tells them to leave her alone, deciding she can't take it anymore and will stay at home. With this, she thinks she doesn't need to work hard anymore. Beaming, she realizes she can do the things she likes forever. Overjoyed, she exclaims that it's like heaven and she's super happy. Utako stands by the door, expressing her happiness. Memories flood back. She pleaded over and over to investigate properly, but they said there was no bullying. They told her that she was weird, or that she had a habit of lying and things like that. They said mom's disciplining was at fault, but Utako worked so hard for her. Utako's mom did her best, but it was tough for her. Someone urges Utako to try a little too, even just a bit, warning that at this rate, she will become a hikikomori. The young woman, visibly distraught, declares that she was born to a mother unable to work hard. She is grateful to Clover-san for realizing that she was a toxic parent. Clover-san is scolded for leaving something in the laundry. The woman demands an apology, insisting it's her responsibility that she can't work or help around the house. She wants her mother to properly think about her responsibility. "I'm sorry for giving birth to you without any ability to work hard," the woman says. She questions if providing for her is her mother's way of making up for being toxic parents. The woman yells to shut up and let her keep living like this. She claims she is now happy and the happiest after all. The girl stares intently, holding a pair of scissors. The sound "s" is written above her. A severed cable hangs, its wires exposed. Outside, a girl stands near a mailbox, seemingly unaware of the damage. Inside, a message blares on a computer screen. The internet connection was lost. The girl at the desk is shocked. With a bright smile, she declares, "Wuchai! Let's proceed as planned." The girl stands before a house, thinking, "I came to hang out, for the sake of making Uchi happy." A young man sits surrounded by bags of burnable garbage, tossing something into one. He thinks, "I'm cleaning up." In the background, two figures are visible. The young man continues, "Since Yotsuha is coming over today," he adds, "let's do our homework together at your house, and after that, we'll eat snacks and chat." The young man returns home, noting that the mess didn't bother him until now. He finds the state of his house embarrassing. His mind feels foggy and he struggles to see things clearly. A girl smiles brightly, stating that things have been clearing up recently. The young man begins to clean, tossing items away. He holds a broken photo of his family, his eyes widening in shock. The image shows happy, warm memories. Chain wrap around the photo, symbolizing the painful feeling of being at home. He wants to get away from his family and move out once he enters university, hoping that will surely be the best for him. A woman stands with a bloody knife to her chest, the text indicating that she might commit suicide. The text also reveals that the speaker is worried about their older sister, who has been like this since high school. Below, the image shows the two sisters in the past smiling. Two girls smile while holding a plate of food and a game controller, but chains appear to bind them. The young man below them is also bound by chains, holding a game controller, as he thinks that he might stay together with his family forever. He realizes a girl named Ui arrives, announces that she came to hang out. She exclaims that since he is so amazing, she will give him a hug. The young man is surprised to see her cleaning. The girl asks how he figured out that she just wanted to hug him. He sighs, a blush appearing on his face. The two then walk up the stairs, the young man thinking that he can think about those gloomy things later. A young woman stares at her phone with a worried expression. Another woman, wearing matching pajamas, opens the door and looks out. The phone displays a message. The wife stopped working. The woman is asked, "Why don't you check the line? Isn't it outside?" Elsewhere, the woman flinches as another girl greets her with a "hello." The girl declares, I'm gonna go greet your mom. She's a boy to go over to your room without me. He wonders if she'll be fine, as the words, "Uxie's mom," appear. The girl apologizes for intruding, offering a small token of gratitude. She bows, then tosses the gift onto a table. The door opens to reveal a cluttered room, a desk piled high with papers and bottles. A girl with blonde hair stands amidst the mess, glaring at the scene before her. Another girl, seen from the back, stands near the desk. Suddenly, a bottle of Yandere is knocked off the desk, crashing onto the keyboard. The impact sends liquid spraying everywhere as the bottle falls. Yuichi exclaims that he gave something to her. The girl walks away from the room. The girl stands outside a house, looking at her phone. The phone displays a text message exchange, and she wonders what she is supposed to do. The woman declares that she doesn't want to tell her parents, finding even talking to them stressful. She also doesn't want to meet the contractors. Everything sucks, and she doesn't want to work hard. She states that it's fine because she has games she can play without internet. The woman waits for them to notice and fix it. The room is messy, with a computer, game console, and various items scattered on the desk. From the background, a couple sits at a table, one reading and the other flinching. A voice booms, declaring, "Hey, that's the worst." Meanwhile, the girl thinks to herself, "So far, so good." The girl thinks to herself, "So far, so good." The young man watches as his older sister plays a game while on voice chat. He thinks to himself that his older sister is always like that. She apologizes, but then smiles, saying it's totally fine. Disaster has struck as the computer monitor is soaked. The girl screams that it's not turning on and that this is the worst. She laments that the console is broken too. The phone pings with messages. One user suggests ripping it apart, while another says to rip it apart and scrub it. She thinks that she doesn't get that hard stuff, so she can't. The girl explains that her father sends her money every month for living expenses, but it's not enough for a PC. She admits that she doesn't know how to ask for repairs, nor can she buy one, as she doesn't have that kind of money. Online, someone suggests asking her. Utasha receives a message telling her to save up the money she's given each month. She thinks that if she did that, she'd have to stop herself from buying other stuff, which want to do. Utasha then realizes that there are things you have to work hard at to have fun. However, she can't work hard, as there's nothing she can do. Utasha thinks that people with the talent to work hard must have it nice. She sends a message to Clover-san, saying that her PC broke, but she isn't getting a reply. Utasha decides she's going to sleep. Suddenly, someone calls out, "Hey, Uchi!" Uchi exclaims that if she gets this problem right, she wants head pats. She solves it quickly and says that she solved it. The young man says that he's going to pet Uichi, and he pets her head and Uichi asks for more. The young woman receives head pats, but she seems to be in distress. Down below, someone lies in bed as Uichi declares her love. However, the woman under the covers is not happy, thinking, "This sucks." The woman in bed thinks this is the worst. Another woman tells her that from now on, they will do this every weekend. She replies, "Well, okay." The woman in bed then thinks about how happy she was before and wonders if this is real. Lime sends a message to someone, apologizing for the late reply. Lime then sends another message, saying she was calling an acquaintance for a moment. A young man thinks that as long as he follows the steps, this should go fine. A young woman thinks that wraps up her moves against his older sister for now. So far, so good. The girl thinks that the only unpredictable factor is that guy. Fu-chan is asked for help, but it will take time. Uchi is addressed as someone wants to tell him something. Someone asks if they are being seriously resented by someone. The girl declares that she can see an Ekiryu haunting him. He wonders if it's someone from primary school who knew them, especially if they know so much about Ye and him. Surrounded by others, a young man looks distressed. Down below, another young man looks up, his expression mirroring the same concern. The image is entirely a close-up of a wall. The young man says no, seemingly troubled by something. Apologizing for making him think about bad things, the girl stands beside him. She declares that she will drive them away, so it will be fine. He admits that exorcisms are pretty physical. The girl hugs him, and he thanks her. She notes that he looks like he's suffering, resolving to be careful not to pry. It's revealed that there are two more of them in this house, including his older sister. Uichi's sister wasn't the only one who tormented and murdered him. Someone opens the door, announcing that they heard his friend is here. The man greets them with a hello. The girl is described as the most troublesome person in the family. The uncanny normalness is to be continued next issue. He recalls being told to become a good father by his mom and older sister when he got married. He agrees, promising to put his family first from now on. That's why he will. A young woman asks if he is Uichi's friend, and he greets them with, hello. He introduces himself as Uichi's father, saying it's nice to meet them. Suha states that they met plenty of times back when she was a child, adding that it's been. Uichi's father asks if the two are studying, remarking that it's admirable. He thinks this is the first time they've met. He asks Uichi to do his best, saying he's really rooting for him. Uichi's father tells them that it's in the pharmacy department. Uichi explains that he heard his friend was coming over, so he bought some sweets. He then tells his dad that he's trying to get into veterinary school. A box of walnut cookies is offered with encouragement. Eat them and do your best, okay? The father beams, declaring he's really rooting for the young man, urging him to do his best. However, the young man reacts with shock. The young man reveals that he's allergic to walnuts. He thinks to himself that no matter how many times he tells his father, the man doesn't remember. The young man believes his father probably doesn't really care about him. The young man apologized to Uchi for talking about sad stuff. He admits he's tired of hoping and being let down. A girl arrives, declaring that if he eats these and those, it'll be just fine, and reveals she also brought cookies. The father thinks of himself as a good father. He reflects on sending money for living expenses without her asking. Ever since Utako ended up like that, he believes he's a thoughtful father and shouldn't let his daughter struggle. Utako is troubled by leaving school, even consulting the school, but it did make a difference. She says she doesn't want Uichi to worry since she is his mother and has to act properly. Utako admits she hasn't been able to sleep at all, and that the man declares that he is a good father, so he properly cheered her up. Utako asks why and says that she doesn't get it, how hard she has been working and how tough it's been. She asks how much harder she has to try, and the man replies that it's. Utako says she wants to die, even though she is doing her best, adding that it's so painful. Uchi sees her with scissors and is shocked, exclaiming, "Mom, that why?" He tells her that he doesn't want her to die and that Uchi loses his composure, so the man quickly calls an ambulance. The man apologizes, realizing that he didn't even realize how tough things were for her. Uchi says he was overwhelmed with school stuff. A man with glasses smiles and waves, relieved that the other's cut wasn't serious. The man, visibly upset and tearful, apologizes and promises to help out more. A woman observes that he understands her, unlike her husband. Uichi worries about her, and she thinks to herself that he is kind to her. She reflects on how happy she is. The scene shifts to a hallway, where someone notes that it's messier than it used to be. And there's the matter of Utako. A figure stands in a doorway at the end of the hall. The panel shows a family in front of a house, described as the happy Utsu family. A man thinks to himself that he might be a good father. A young woman states she will borrow the restroom. She mostly understands what's going on with this family. The panel shows a mentally unstable mother, an apathetic dad, and a lazy older sister. Together, they torment Uichi. He crushed his last hope to live in the original future. Someone takes a step. The girl declares she won't forgive this family. The girl steps into a room. Rummaging through a drawer, she finds oral medicine for Miss Michiko Utsu. She wants revenge. In the language of flowers, the four-leaf clover apparently means revenge. She wants revenge. Uchi was killed by those bastards who tormented him, who are pure evil. A man with glasses smiles, declaring he won't forgive those who don't understand Yuichi. Behind him, a figure with long hair stands before a computer. Another individual, wielding a knife, vows not to forgive those who torment Uchiji. A pair of the words, Uchi would be much happier if you weren't here, hang in the air as several people are pushed off a cliff. Below, a TV screen displays the grim reality. Your mother is hospitalized for mental illness. Your older sister is in prison, and your father... A young man weeps, overwhelmed by the situation. The girl looks on with a shocked expression, realizing that she didn't make Uchi happy. The words, "but that didn't make Uchi happy," echo in her mind. A sign reads, "Children's..." The photo shows a group of people, with the words, "He says they were kind in the past, but they've changed now," hovering above. The girl wonders what's so special about them as the young man hides his face in his hands, lamenting, "I don't get it, Yukichi." Someone looks. A figure with obscured eyes holds out a package of oral medicine labeled Ames Michiko Utsu. The words, "Revenge isn't the answer," appear in bold text. Medicine and packages are scattered across the floor. The woman stares in disbelief at the mess, exclaiming, "What the... and what the hell?" She laments, "How cruel. My meds," as she kneels amidst the scattered pills. A girl is seen in the doorway, and the man in the room thinks Uchi's DAD. Another girl thinks it's the little brat who's stealing Uchi from me, and speculates it might be Yutiko holding a grudge. The man asks, "Ooh, Uichi's friend." The girl asks the woman to understand Uichi's mother better. The woman responds with, and thinks, "Uichi's mother." She then says, "You don't seem to understand anything about it, so," and observes that the girl seems to be really struggling. The woman with blonde hair states that she knows, referring to Uchi's older sister. It is revealed that Uchi's mother, Uchi, and Utako-san are holding hands. Someone says that Uchi's mother is loving and wonderful, and very dear. The young woman with a flower in her hair says that she worked beyond hard to make her daughter happy. Uchi's mother worked hard, so hard that someone had to tell her it was enough, that if she does any more, she'll break. She went above and beyond with her efforts. The man in glasses says that this is pointless, and that the person won't understand no matter what he says. The woman with blonde hair thinks that with this, her hostility should fade and she'll listen to her. However, she also thinks that the person has completely forgotten what was precious. Someone says that she's tormenting someone precious to her. The man in glasses says that no one understands her, and it's painful. But, well, she can't help it. It is said that she's tormented by the guilt, but if someday she remembers what's precious to her, she'll be sure to be. The girl declares that she doesn't want someone to suffer anymore, pleading for them to be stopped. Another girl, standing on the stairs, says, "You're right, got it." A figure sits on a couch, holding a book, as a gift bag sits on a table in the foreground. Inside the gift bag, a nostalgic photo shows a group of people, with a note saying it's enclosed for Yotsuha. A woman stares intensely at the photo, which shows a younger version of herself with others wearing shirts labeled Utsu. She thinks about what that brat even... A close-up focuses on the bow of the gift bag. A figure sits on a couch, reflecting on how they were important. A girl in a plaid dress waves goodbye, saying, "See you later." She departs from a house with a young man. She declares that she will act for Uichi's happiness. Standing before a house, the girl resolves to make this family happy as well. Below, a man in a suit, a person with long hair, and another with their back turned each express their own thoughts. The young man below is surrounded by chains, determined to ensure Yuichi stays at home and lives in peace. With a determined gaze, the girl states that her goal is Uichi's happiness. She dismisses selfish emotions like rage or desire for vengeance. She vows to become Uichi's lucky four-leaf clover. The words "lucky four-leaf clover" were prominently displayed. A four-leaf clover is shown, its leaves detailed with intricate patterns. The scene cuts to a woman looking at her phone, the screen displaying a message. "I'm lonely, so take your phone with you." The text above reads, "I'm going to get some candy." The words "not some four-leaf clover of revenge" appear ominously beside her. The chapter title reads, "A person who can work hard." A woman in pajamas walks down the stairs, looking surprised. Utako stands in a room, holding a box labeled Michiko Utsusama. She wonders why it is there. The woman with long dark hair confronts someone, accusing of dumping something in the corridor. She claims it happened a few hours ago. Another person replies that she is trying to do the same thing again, but the dark-haired woman insists she's saying this for their sake. The woman in pajamas is annoyed and can't take it anymore, calling her mother toxic, annoying, and stressful. She doesn't want to listen to her. Suddenly, she spots Utako and yells at her to listen. Utako runs away, declaring she hates everything. She can't take it anymore. She contemplates jumping in front of a car, thinking that all the bad stuff will disappear. The car swishes past, causing Utako to flinch. She finds the situation painful and scary. Utako collapses, realizing she can't do it. The floor feels cold to the touch, and she reflects on how she hated suffering and working hard. She admits that she cannot do it anymore, agonizing over the sounds coming from her younger brother's room. At home, she laments that she cannot play games because she hates it, unable to find any comfort. A man approaches, his footsteps audible as he asks if she is okay. She replies that she doesn't know. Man apologizes for keeping Utako waiting. He asks if she is Utako-san and if she sent him an email. Utako looks up, confused. He asks if they are meeting up for the interview and if she applied for their part-time job. He reveals that all his part-timers suddenly quit on him. He questions why she chose this park and why she is wearing pajamas. The young man is shocked to learn that someone applied for a part-time job for him without asking. The girl responds to his disbelief, stating that she can't try hard or do hard stuff, so she can't. He questions what she is talking about, and she declares that she was born. The girl is told that she tries hard at games, but she looks away, seemingly unconvinced. The young man then explains that the job is super easy, involving playing games and looking for bugs, since they are a video game company. The girl appears surprised by the young man enthusiastically states that being able to work that hard is amazing and that she has talent, referring to what she wrote in her email about self-promotion. He emphasizes that she can't do something unless she tries really hard, recalling the young man explains that there are people who can work endlessly because it's something they like. He believes that she will work extremely hard at this job, since it's something she enjoys. The girl says that she can't work hard because she doesn't have talent, but the young man thinks otherwise. If that's the case, it might not be so bad, she thinks. Instead of staying at home or dying, she feels like she'd be happier this way. In any case, someone says she can just come for a trial, starting from tomorrow. "I'll give it a try," the girl says, adding that she's glad. Another girl watches from behind a fence, noting that it's going smoothly. A man says it's okay, explaining that it's a career change he discovered after rewinding time again and again. Elsewhere, a girl receives a ping, and another thinks, "What a troublesome older sister." Aim sends a message to Utako. "Hey, Utako, there's an even easier and happier path." The message is accompanied by a clover icon. The text declares that the giraffe is the evil mastermind behind Yuichi's suffering. A figure falls from a platform, while another is told to get closer. Elsewhere, a girl says, "Good morning," and a shoe with wheels rolls by. Then, a young man falls and the girl is seen again, saying, "Ever again." She wanted to tour. Yotsuba exclaims that she hasn't seen Uichi since yesterday. She is happy to see him. Yuichi's mom apologizes for the intrusion. The girl states that Yuichi is teaching her. The girl with dark hair declares she doesn't want Uichi to leave her, resolving to keep him at all costs. Chains bind Uichi, symbolizing her possessiveness. Elsewhere, another girl asks if someone dropped medicine. A figure leaves something on a shelf. In a flashback, a boy expresses his dream of becoming a vet, prompting concern about the cost of vet school tuition. The boy's mother assures him that his mom will be rooting for him. This image is blank and contains no discernible information. A woman resolves to save up little by little. She reflects on how she used to support Uichi's dreams from the bottom of her heart. A girl wonders if she is okay, as two younger siblings watch her from downstairs. The boy wonders if it's okay to greet their older sister. He then mentions that his sister stepped out this morning for once, so she's not here. The girl thinks to herself that everything went just as planned yesterday, and it's going smoothly, so it's fine. She also thinks that she should be at the video game company. She resolves to make this family happy too, for the sake of Yuichi's happiness. The panel shows Ichi's mother returning to her past self bit by bit, and the girl is making sure she doesn't shackle Yuichi. As for his older sister, she took away her false sense of happiness and reintegrated her into society, guiding her into a suitable job. The man thinks that the young man sits next to the girl, thinking that at this rate, everything should work out. He needs to figure out how to uncover that person's identity. Based on how Uchi seemed yesterday, it seems like he might have an idea who that person is. He wonders how he... The scene opens with the narrator observing his sister dressed up and stepping out, noting that she seems calmer lately. He also reflects on how school life has been getting better. He wonders if he should try asking Yotsuhei about it, though the thought scares him. The girl thinks it might be weird if she stays quiet like this, wondering if she can get Uchi to tell her something. The young man realizes he has never been this quiet during his usual loops. Yotsuha calls out to him as he stands in the doorway. Yotsuha asks what he is going to do after graduation. Suddenly, she admits that she hasn't really thought about it. She declares that she wants to stay by his side. The young man realizes that she really feels that way. He understands, clenching his fist. His speech bubble simply states, "You know." The young man thinks that if everything keeps getting better, get into college and leave home. He then tells the girl that he thinks they'd be really happy if they lived together. The girl is shocked and says, "Yeah, eh?" The young man declares, "Let's live together." The girl replies that they'll absolutely be so happy, adding that she's glad. She then exclaims that she's so happy and asks if he was thinking that, noting that the girl resolves to make it happen by that time. The young man agrees that they should work hard to make that happen, and the two embrace. Finally, he states that they need to study. The scene is set with the title, "You are a 4-leaf clover." Utako receives a text message that reads, "Hey, Utako, there is an even easier and happier path." Utako sits on a bench, looking at her phone. The message on the screen says, "Don't go to your part-time job tomorrow, come here." Another message promises, "Instead, I'll come up with a better way for you." The man approaches, thinking things like working are painful. A young man greets Utako with a casual yo, who responds, "Nice to meet you." The panel reveals that this young man is Clover, an agent of darkness. The young man introduces himself as Toya, saying, "Nice to meet you, Utako-chan." The girl is flustered, thinking that someone is so cool. She receives a message from an acquaintance saying he wants to meet her. Utako stresses about meeting people, but she knows. The girl notes that the man in the photo looks like a voice actor she likes. She realizes that he even dyed his hair to match the actor's. She thinks to herself that he is totally her type. The man says that he saw a photo of her, and he is happy to meet her. He smiles, calling her super cute and saying he fell in love at first sight. The girl thinks this is a dream, thanking him for making time for her today. The man grabs her hand on their date. The girl is shocked, thinking it's the first time a man grabbed her hand. The man thinks to himself that she is so cute. The girl thinks to herself that she might like him, but he says, "Yeah, no." Later, she thinks, "I do," but she and the young man hold hands. Overlooking the city lights, the girl thinks, "OMG, I like him so much." Elsewhere, Utako thinks Toya is crazy and that this is love. She admits to herself that she likes his face so much, and he's so nice and he likes her. The girl says yes, and, of course, as Toya asks her to go out with him, with marriage in mind. Elsewhere, Toya thinks that marrying Toya and leaving home is definitely the happier way. The girl thinks Clover-san really is the one who shows her how to be happy. Thinks, but as the girl asks, why, and says, ugh, he thinks to himself that the truth is, he can't get married right away. He admits that he is in debt and cannot get married because he became a guarantor for a friend. Udako-chan hears him say that he just had the confidence to make her happy until he pays it back. Udako-chan also wants to get out of that place as soon as she can and be happy with Tuya. The young woman looks up at him, concerned. He asks if there is any way she can get 5 million yen. Utako wonders how she can get that kind of money. Then, she receives a message on her phone. The message says, "Utako, you said it the other day." The message reveals that she found a bank book inside a drawer. The person on the phone suggests they steal it. Thinking out she has that kind of money, she should just give them more. Utako hesitates, but is told it's okay because Toya has a special acquaintance, so they can withdraw. The girl thinks that if her mom catches her, she will be super mad and annoying. She is told to bring 2 things, and it will be so easy. However, if she marries Toya and doesn't come near the house anymore, there won't be any problem. She realizes that she will end up being unhappy and miserable. The girl is asked if she wouldn't want that. She thinks there is no way. It is suggested that she works hard just a little bit. She is told to take her happiness into her own hands. Yuichi is seen so early. Someone greets him a good morning. He is going to school early to study since he absolutely wants to get into university. Yuichi is wished a good morning and told to let's go. The girl says, yeah. She creeps for her happiness. Determined, the girl holds a bank book and a phone, declaring she's going to do it in order to become happy. She recalls Clover-san's words as another girl walks out the door. Elsewhere, someone calls out to Toya-kun. With a determined smile, the girl presents a bank book and phone, announcing she's taking her happiness into her own hands. She is voluntarily submitting her family's happiness. The young man sits at his desk, receiving a message from Yotsuha asking about lunch plans for tomorrow. He sighs, looking at his phone with a complicated expression. The family realizes the bank book and stamp are gone. The young man descends the stairs, and someone accuses him of being responsible. A woman accuses someone of being a liar, but the accused denies the accusation. Another woman confronts her, saying she was wearing an expensive necklace yesterday, which was suspicious. She demands that the money be returned immediately, but the woman cries out that it's all. The woman reveals that she gave it all to someone named Toya. She shows a phone screen indicating that Toya's account no longer exists, implying he deleted it. In response, the first woman declares they need to go to the police. The woman despairs, realizing that people like Chloe run off overseas right away. She laments that it was millions, money meant for the family's future. She wonders what she should do, overwhelmed by the situation. The woman realizes that Uichi's university tuition was also part of that money. She fears that Uchi won't be able to go to university at this rate. The young man in the background looks on with concern. The young man is surprised to learn that someone was saving money for him. He insists that he doesn't want to rely on money. Instead, he plans to get good grades so he can be exempt from tuition fees. A man yells at Uchi, saying that this isn't the time for that. The family's precious money is gone, which shocks Uchi. The man continues his tirade, questioning how selfish Uchi can be. He believes Uchi should work instead of going to university, so he can get back the lost money. The man suggests they join forces and do their best to make up for their family's mistake. He believes that is what family is for. She declares that he must cover for her since she can't work hard, but he has the talent. She insists that they are family, so he must do his best in her place. He looks up at her, shocked, as she leans in close. They both acknowledge how strange the situation is. Uchi is seen diligently working at his desk, determined to achieve his dreams. He proudly displays a test with a perfect score, calling it his precious. She tells him not to go to university and to stay with her. The young man stands behind her, speechless, as she admits she is already at her limits. The situation has clearly taken a turn for the worse. She threatens that she will die if he leaves her. Uchi is seen holding her hand as a child. She demands that he stay, emphasizing that he can't let his mother, who has always cherished him, die. The man in the suit declares that they should unite their hearts in these hard times and do their best together for their precious family. A young man in the foreground looks up with a worried expression. The girl stands in shock, questioning why this fight is happening right now. Her phone displays a message from Uchi, asking what she wants to do tomorrow. She wonders why she didn't get a reply, so she came to check. The girl realizes this route is a total disaster and thinks she has to rewind. She looks on with a shocked expression. The girl, along with the man in the suit and another man, stand in a doorway. A woman peers out from behind the door. The close-up shows a watch, and a voice says, "It won't rewind." The chapter is titled 34 Chains of Family, and the image focuses on a watch that rewinds time. The girl realizes something as she keeps using it. With one rotation, the world rewinds, but everything else accumulates all alone, learning from a history of happiness and sorrow. The watch does not rewind time. The more time this watch is spent in the world, the more she rewinds, which means something strange happens to the watch. Originally, it was a cheap watch she bought at a kiosk. It was only supposed to last 3 or 4 years at most, but she is sure it is already going way past that. Now it's just a battered old watch on the verge of breaking. Up until now, the watch ticks. The watch has stopped a few times, and it wouldn't rewind time when turned. Because it was so unreliable, she had no time to waste. She wanted to make Uchi the happiest. Before the watch completely breaks from age, she wonders what the hell is going on. Maybe it's just acting up temporarily, and she may not be able to rewind anymore. She has no idea what she should do. This fight also happened in the original future where Uchi died. He says yes, he'll give up on becoming a vet. Uchi lost his last will to live, and he apologizes. A major reason for that choice is that his older sister is supposed to be seduced over time, even if it does happen months away. Someone wonders why Uchi's girlfriend is here, asking what happened. A man demands to know why Yatsu is there, stating that they are having an important family conversation and orders her to go home. Yatsuha looks shocked and starts to say something, but hesitates. Yotsuha smiles, but the man thinks to himself that she came because she was worried about him. He realizes he has never seen her make a face like that before, and she apologizes. The man notes that Yotsuha never asked what happened, and didn't even look sad, but kept smiling the whole time. He wonders if she sensed everything and was trying to cheer him up, deciding that she saved him. The man reflects that he smiled for the first time in a while that day and was happy. From then on, it was always fun, warm, and he wanted those days to continue. The couple sits together, dreaming of an even happier future. Suddenly, the mood shifts as someone demands they leave immediately, declaring an important conversation about their family's future. The girl, visibly distressed, realizes she must think of something. Unable to say anything, he turns to see the girl and another man standing behind him. She can only retreat for now. Chains then begin to wrap around the young man as the girl walks away. The chains tighten around him as he thinks of his future with Yatsuha. He resolves to save his family, even if it means giving up his own happiness. Yatsuha smiles, seemingly unaware of his internal struggle. Despite the chains binding him, the young man declares he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give up at all. Yotsu smiles because he made her remember her hope. Chains fall away as the young man reaches out, shouting that he wants to be happy. In the background, Yatsuha calls out to him, but he seems determined to break free. He is surrounded by the broken shackles of his past. The young man, tears in his eyes, declares that he wants a happy future with her. Above him, the girl looks on with a hopeful expression, also wanting to live. Determination etched on his face, he resolves to break his chains himself. The young man, now fired up, states that he'll say it straight. He wants to live a happy future with her. Meanwhile, the girl looks on, and in the background, other figures watch the unfolding scene. The young man declares he will go to university and leave this house. His family looks on in shock, questioning his sudden decision. Yatsuha is surprised by his announcement. The young man declares his dream to become a vet and help everyone. However, a man in glasses shouts, "No," and accuses him of being selfish during the family's hard times. He urges everyone to join forces and do their best. The young man is told to stop pretending to be a good dad. He retorts that the man only wants to say cool stuff. The woman expresses that it's messed up that she has to give up on her dreams, as the young man is told that he should be the one to work hard first. The young man's mom appears, and he asks what's with everyone all of a sudden. His mother says that she gets it. She doesn't want him to disappear, right? She holds a chain, threatening to die because she doesn't want him to leave. The young man says that it's so unfair and asks her to stop. The mother says that she loves them all and could never abandon them. She insists that he is her precious family. The young man declares that there are things he just can't do because he has something he absolutely doesn't want to give up on. Yotsuha grabs his hand, looking up at him with concern. He proclaims that he wants to live a happy future with Yotsuha. Tears stream down his face as he insists that he absolutely won't give up on this. Yotsuha looks on, determined to support him. Yotsuha cries out that she wants that too, as Uichi embraces her tightly. A group of onlookers watches as they resolve to go through this fight together. She reflects that she has never before made Uichi, whose heart she had restored up to this point, do this before. Yotsuha admits that she didn't know he'd say something like this. Someone in the background says they are tired from all this talking. Uichi wobbles, and Yotsuha asks if he is okay. Utako states that she cannot do anything, lacking any talent. The shadowy figure looms over her, thinking to herself. Utako's name appears in a speech bubble. The figure, now revealed, declares that Utako will work to get it back. A girl interjects saying that Utako is the one who did it, so Uichi should not be dragged into it. Another couple looks on, suggesting they support his dream of going to university. Uichi apologizes, as the girl states that her mom knew she was doing something bad lately. She realizes it more and more, but thanks them for saving money for her tuition. However, she was able to make up her mind because they put it bluntly. A woman asks about a job related to games or something. Someone exclaims that there are jobs like that. The girl's older sister is addressed as Owan-san and told that she has always had talent for games. She responds that if there is anything she can work hard. It's a good thing that each family member does their best, someone exclaims, encouraging Uichi to do his best. Uichi's efforts are appreciated as one person declares they are saved and another states that this is the best conclusion of all. Uichi is thanked for his efforts, and someone notes that he has gotten so much better. Yotsuha expresses her gratitude to Uichi for giving her courage. Yotsuha embraces Uichi, wanting a happy future with him. She reflects on how much has changed and finds it extraordinary that she came across Uichi. Yotsuha, in a moment of dark resolve, considers the man a nuisance and vows not to allow him to exist, determined to eliminate him for her happiness like Uichi. The girl reflects on her past beliefs, admitting she thought working was painful. Now she says she ended up working at a game company. She admits that it's tough, but she gets praised for it. Utako asks for forgiveness, admitting that she failed to notice Toya's dark intentions. One character says, "It's okay, don't worry," while another says, "No, it's fine." Someone mentions that there's something they want to ask. The girl recalls that she used to think that working was painful and impossible. However, she admits that it's actually doable. She says she started a part-time job at a video game company. Someone wonders if she did something strange. Character recalls that she was wearing a wristwatch, and she looked kind of panicked while turning the knob. One character wonders what she was doing at a time like that. Utako apologized to Toya, realizing he was like that. She admits to knowing Clover-san for a long time, even considering him an accomplice. Utako then expresses relief and gratitude with a 4-leaf clover displayed on a phone screen. Someone mentions that Uchi's friend came over to their house on the day things blew up. A 4-leaf clover is prominently displayed. The girl says she needs to get ready for tomorrow. Waiting a minute. The girl was fiddling with the knob of her wristwatch, causing suspicion. Someone notes she looked in a hurry, questioning if it was the right time and place for that. She was asked if she was doing something weird. The girl examines a wristwatch, noting it hasn't moved at all, even after several days. She decides to hold on to it carefully for now, thinking it might suddenly start working again. Someone reflects on having completely crushed Yuichi's spirit, feeling totally unexpected. She realizes she has to prepare for tomorrow. A 4-leaf clover design is seen on a wristwatch. The door slams shut as Uchi reflects on how quickly someone recovered. He thinks he had broken Uchi's spirit for good. Yotsuha stands outside Danny's restaurant, determined to uncover the mastermind's identity. Yotsuha is happy to see Fu-chan, who is also described as cute. The two embrace. Her wristwatch is examined closely. It hasn't moved in days. She decides to keep it safe, hoping it will suddenly start moving again. Someone apologizes, but another character is already asking for another job. She says to bring it on because she loves when people rely on her. She investigated her family's relationships and started thinking she might be involved with her family too. Danny's restaurant, a girl vows to find the mastermind's identity by any means. Yotsuha exclaims, Yotsu, happy, before embracing Ka, who is told she's cute. The young man considers the possibility of someone getting close to Ye. The young man considers the possibility of someone getting close to Ye. The young man considers the possibility of someone getting close to Ye. The young man considers the possibility of someone getting close to Ye. A girl apologizes for asking for another request, even though she hasn't finished the hacking she was asked to do. Another girl says it's fine and to rely on her, stating that something like that makes her happy. Since then, she's been thinking that he might also be involved with. A girl thanks another, who says, "Here, this what you asked for," while showing her phone. Utachi's profile is displayed on the screen, and the girl realizes, here it is, adding that she already guessed. Won-san's online friend is most likely Ye, and if he could make contact with Ye, he could get to his family too. Fu-chan wants to see inside this private locked account, but someone like Utachi can't do it. Fu-chan declares that she can. Utachi sees that it has been 6 years since Utachi followed Utak, and wonders what she should call Utako. Utako was told that she had tried so hard for a long time. They kept feeding the already impulsive big sister's ego while staying completely. Utachi is thanked for the thing she asked for. Utachi's account is displayed on a phone screen. Someone realizes that the account is here, just as they thought. The girl wonders if it was just a lucky coincidence or if it was all planned. She thinks that even if you knew everything about someone's family, pulling this off would be nearly impossible. The worsening of their home life was all something they set up, just like how the bullying at school. Utachi sends a message, thanking someone for the call and asking what they should do. The message is dated 2019-09-15. It's revealed that Uchi's family collapsed one after another as a result of someone's actions. The young man wonders if it was fate or the work of some god that caused all of Uchi's misfortune. The scene suggests that one person is responsible for everything. The girl wonders if it was just a coincidence that everything went well, or if it was planned. She thinks it would be hard to thoroughly investigate his family, but then realizes that the worsening home life, just like the school bullying, was all something he planned. The girl receives a message. I want to make Utsu Uishi kill himself. She's shocked and asks why someone would go that far, stating she doesn't get it at all. It becomes clear that someone has been plotting all of this in secret since way back then, just to make Uchi miserable. It wasn't fate, but Uichi's misfortune, all because of him alone. A 4-leaf clover, a briefcase, and an A symbol float in the darkness. The scene flashes back to middle school, where Uichi is being bullied. A voice wonders if it was his fault too. Later, Uichi stands up for his friends, yelling, "Stop bullying them!" Phone screen displays a message. We want Utsu Uichi to kill himself. Two girls gasp, realizing that someone has been scheming to make Uichi unhappy. One girl says, then. The person who was bullied is suspicious, but they don't know who they are. Utachi asks Clover-san why his name is Clover. A group of boys stands over a seated figure. The words, "Was the bullying in middle school his fault too?" hanging in the air. It is revealed that they were just messing around with their friend, Uchi, when he came over and barged in saying stuff like, "Stop bullying." The 4-leaf clover's flower meaning includes revenge. Utachi declares that there's someone she has to get revenge on. A girl stares intently at her phone, a 4-leaf clover visible in her hair. The narrator notes that the guy they were bullying seems suspicious. Utachi wonders if he is the one, or if he is an accomplice. Utachi is asked by Clover-san why her name is Clover. One girl asks, "What's wrong?" As another mutters, "Revenge?" Then, a declaration echoes, "I'll take revenge. You killed." The 4-leaf clover symbolizes revenge in flower language. Utachi declares she wants to get revenge on a bastard by any means. She thinks it's kind of cool. All. Average is blank. The fist clenches a rope, signifying putting one's whole life on the line. The figure vows to absolutely carry out this revenge, no matter how many years it takes, no matter what he has to do. Two girls sit at a table. One asks, "What's up?" while the other contemplates. Revenge. The scene shifts to a dark symbolic image where the words, "I will get my revenge," are emblazoned across the panel. The words, "You killed," appear above a scribbled-out name. The figure hangs suspended, a noose around their neck, as the words, "I'll dedicate my life," and "I'll absolutely carry out this revenge" surround them. The panel is filled with clover motifs. A girl waves goodbye as another thinks about revenge. The text reveals the reason this guy wants Uchi is because there's a bastard I want to get revenge on by any means. The girl at the table realizes the revenge is to kill himself. One girl finds it hard to figure out the motive for hacking Utako's social media account. Another girl says it's totally unjustified to hold a grudge against Uchi. She suggests asking Uchi if he has any idea who is behind the hacking. Yotsuha asks Uchi what's going on and if she can come with him. Uchi is surprised to see Yotsuha, but admits he was going to see her anyway because he wanted to ask her something. Yuichi nervously asks if he can stay over at her place tonight. Yotsuha is shocked by the question. Uchi's mom thinks it'd be best if they kept a little distance. She suggests that Uchi could stay over at a friend's place from time to time. The young man apologizes for the intrusion as the girl enthusiastically welcomes him inside, telling him he can stay over whenever he wants. He wonders if it's okay for him to stay starting tonight. The girl assures him that he can stay over every day. She hopes it's fine for him to stay over from time to time. Meanwhile, he thinks that she's the opposite sex, but she's a responsible kid, adding that mom agreed too. It is revealed that Uchi helped him. The girl is happy, thinking that this is basically living together at an early stage. The young man glances at her. The girl suggests they make dinner together, again apologizing for the intrusion. Later, she tells Yuichi that this is the perfect chance, as she has to ask him about a bunch of stuff. She thinks that this isn't the time for that. She wonders who the guy he saved is. The young man looks stricken, realizing he has messed up. A girl assures him that it's okay if he doesn't want to talk about it. He thinks to himself that he shouldn't have asked. The girl asks how his middle school was, and he replies that it was fun. She says that she is glad, adding that every day was amazing and that he was able to make a lot of friends. He thinks to himself that now that he really thinks about it, she points out that he came back after 10 years and that she hasn't even asked how he's been or anything like that. He admits that he was so focused on himself until now. The young man asks if she didn't have any family and if she is living alone in an apartment. He recalls that she used to send him letters about how she was doing right after he transferred. However, since middle school, he hasn't been able to read them. The young man apologizes, saying he probably thought of what she told him. He wants to ask her a bunch of things and a young woman declares that she lives with her older brother. She recalls living with her real mom and older brother, though he rarely came back from work. After she got her family, every day was happy and fun, but without him, she was lonely. The young man sighs, saying he is glad then. He stutters, seemingly flustered by her words. Lying in bed together, the young man asks if they are really going to sleep together. She insists that they are definitely sleeping like this. He suggests that he can sleep on the couch or something. Dozing off, the young man thinks that he is really happy, but he hugs her tightly. Yuichi thinks to himself that he doesn't want to remember painful stuff, right? Someone suggests that they ask someone else about the bullying in middle school. Lying in bed, she thinks to herself that she is the same, after all. Even though she feels warm and happy, it's no good. No matter how much she struggles, she ends up remembering. The young boy asks if she is alone, inviting her to play dodgeball with them. The memories she received with him show that she thinks of him as her hero. He saved her from loneliness. The young man asks if she is alone and wants to join them. She recalls that he was everyone's hero, but especially kind to her. She remembers that they were close, and he declared he would be a vet in the future. Yotsuha reflects that she had a constant sense of unease back then. She recalls that she was abandoned as a baby at the children's care facility Uzora. All she had with her was the name Yotsuha. Yotsuha stares at a note bearing her name, a memento left by parents whose faces she can't recall. She reflects on the absence of her mom and dad, contrasting it with a four-leaf clover, a symbol of happiness. The boy questions what she means, as Yotsuha suggests that her parents weren't happy with her. The boy looks on, unsure how to respond to her somber statement. She admits that sometimes she gets a little sad. The boy rattles his desk, startling Yotsuha, who learns that a four-leaf clover brings happiness. He abruptly runs off, leaving Yotsuha to wonder what's going on. Later, she finds him muddy and late, questioning his actions. The boy presents Yotsuha with a 4-leaf clover, admitting that he looked for it. He says that being with her is super fun. As they walk together hand in hand, he feels a warm sensation. The young man declares that she is like a super 4-leaf clover to him, making him super happy. He doesn't want her to feel sad because she always makes him happy. He reveals that he wanted her to have a 4-leaf clover too. He explains that he thought about it a lot and looked until he finally found it. The boy wants her to be happy, so he tells her to take this. He wants her to be happy too. Yuichi and Yotsuha embrace as she thanks him. The uneasy feeling disappears from Yotsuha's face. She vows to keep making him happy from now on, and if she's like a 4-leaf clover to him, then it's all good. Yotsuha says she'll become really happy too. She decides to make the clover into a pressed flower, so they'll always be together. Someone announces that they have something important to tell them. It has been decided that the orphanage will close, and everyone will have to move. Yotsuha is shocked by the news, realizing she doesn't want that. A goodbye party is held for Yotsuha-chan. No matter how far apart they are or how many years pass, they will surely be happy and meet again. A young man waves goodbye to Yotsuha as the train departs. She clutches a 4-leaf clover charm. Abstract image with no narrative elements. Or so she thought. Yotsuha introduced herself, asking to be treated well. She stands before a group of people outside a building. A group of boys runs after the girl as she waters flowers. They charge into the flower bed, crushing the plants. The girl looks on in shock. The boys taunt the girl, calling her mean. Other girls watch from a distance, gossiping about her. One of them comments that she is pretending to be cute and likes boys. One of the girls throws a volleyball at the girl's head. The girl collapses to the ground, stunned. The other girls tell her to leave. The girl tells herself that it is okay and that she will be happy. She clutches a 4-leaf clover, thinking about the past. The young girl with a bandage on her cheek stares intensely. Meanwhile, a group of boys hurl insects and worms at her, yelling, "Take that!" The girl, clearly frightened, cries out, "Shia!" as a bizarre attack unfolds. A girl in a fruit t-shirt looks on with disgust as the boys continue their antics. The girl with the bandage is told to clean up, and she begins to sweep. Annoyed, the girl in the fruit says it got dirty because of her and asks why. The girl in the fruit shirt strikes the other girl repeatedly, calling her a nuisance and telling her to get lost. The girl on the receiving end pleads for her to stop, saying the attacker continues her assault, unrelenting in her anger. The victim is revealed to be someone asks if they can forgive her, noting that she is hurting too. It's revealed that Yotsuha came there because she was abused. A hand presents an envelope addressed to Utsuichi. Uichi's face beams as she thinks of Yotsuba. The letter addressed to Yotsuba asks how she is doing and includes a photo from a field trip. The letter says it was super fun. Uichi is glad if Uichi is happy, and she reads a letter that says the writer would be happy if a bunch of fun stuff happened to her too. The letter is from Uichi. Uichi thinks to herself that Uichi will be even happier. It's for Gucci. She can do her best. The young man clenches his fists, determined. A group of boys whisper to each other, while a frog sits nearby. The boys are shocked as the girl smiles and calls the frog cute. She thanks them for giving it to her. Then, she sprays them with water, claiming her hand slipped because it was hot. A letter addressed to Uchi declares that every day is super fun. Uchi, sitting on a bunk bed, responds, "Thanks to you." She smiles, thinking that every day is fun, and she could be really happy. Someone watches Uichi from behind a door. Uichi, noticing that they aren't there, wonders, She crawls on the floor, searching for her letters. She's shocked to find them missing, realizing the one's from Uichi. The letters are found in the toilet. Asks, "You mean that?" Uichi stands before them, stating that she's happy. Behind her, two girls collapse in laughter. Uichi can keep smiling happily, even if her precious letters ended up like this, because she can be happy thanks to you. However, she breaks down in tears. The young girl kneels before a toilet, overcome with emotion, stream down her face as she clutches at her chest. Another girl appears in the doorway, noting that she has found her. The young woman smiles, murmuring to herself. In the background, a man waves goodbye as two other women look on. One of the women asks what is wrong. wondering why such a cute girl is crying so much. Someone thinks that Yotsuha-chan was a beautiful person, almost like magic. The girl admits that she was overwhelmed. The woman introduces her mother and older brother. Someone wanted to see their daughter right away, but another reminds them of the visiting procedure. The woman offers her thanks. The woman declares that from now on, she and Yotsuha can live together, stating she came to pick her up. Yotsuha hesitates, seemingly reluctant. The woman asks if she will throw away her letters. Yotsuha is surprised, but the woman assures her that she won't. Overjoyed, Yotsuha cries and says she will go, wanting to live with her. The woman tells Yotsuha that she is so cute. It is revealed that she was a kind mother. Yotsuha wonders if it is okay to call her Oni-chan. The girl admits that she really likes her Oni-chan, but also says she doesn't understand. She wonders if that is what family is. The girl is really happy that they won't throw her letters away anymore. Beaming, the girl declares she is so happy. Meanwhile, a man in a suit believes he's some kind of assassin. Another girl watches the television, a cup in her hand. A woman calls the girl a cute kid. The girl wonders if she can call the man Big Brother. The woman is described as a gentle and beautiful mother. The girl states she doesn't need it anymore, while another wonders what this place is. She is told that, starting today, she will be attending an acting school. Outside, the girl is surprised to hear, "Let's go." The girl thinks she didn't really get her older brother away from her. She wonders how a family is like. To Ichi, the girl writes that she moved and every day is fun. She feels like she got family now and is not lonely anymore. The young girl is told that there will be auditions for a play next month, and she should give it her all. The girl is encouraged to become a great actress, but she thinks it's impossible. She doesn't want to be an actress. Ichi is happy, holding a piece of paper. On TV, a news report states that a death is believed to be suicide. A woman ominously tells the young girl that her little body will be cut into tiny pieces, crumbling from so much pain. The girl notices the smirk on the woman's face. The woman realizes that she doesn't need him anymore. The young girl wonders what this place is. They are told that they will be attending here starting today, at a training school, as the woman suddenly said, "Let's go on a trip." With a sinister grin, the girl wonders how long the other will last, brandishing scissors. She asks if the other wants to see. The other girl, visibly frightened, repeatedly says she doesn't want to. Tears well up as she anticipates the impending threat. The older girl encourages the younger one to work hard, mentioning an audition in a month for becoming an actress. She urges her to do her best. However, the younger girl is shocked, declaring that she doesn't even want to be one, deeming it impossible. The older girl comments on the younger one's cute face. The younger girl, however, is scared, thinking the other is really scary. The older girl tells her to give it her all. The older girl declares she's going to chop the younger one up. She wants to see exactly how soft her smile is. The younger girl is taken aback by the sudden threat. She smiles, watching someone give it their all. However, she doesn't want to be an actor, but knows she has to do this for a month. If they run, she'll find them and make them pay. The girl's face fills the frame as she describes something crumbling and twisting in pain until it's completely shattered. Then she screams, "No!" as someone's hair is cut. Chills run down her spine. She thinks this is fine, right? The flashback shows a boy saying horrible things are only happening to her. Now, care anymore. Someone calls her face lovely. However, she is also described as scary. The girl is told to do her best. "Be happy, Yotsuha," a boy exclaims, holding a flower. Another figure with tears in her eyes thinks about how she has always been wanted to be happy. She walks away, leaving a small girl sitting alone. A woman smiles, seemingly having fun while watching someone's desperate state. She reflects on how it's her first time singing, dancing, and acting. "If you run away, I'll find and mince you up," she threatens. The girl declares that she has strived, and that's why she thought she had to push forward. She resolves to overcome this challenge, standing before the audition room. The girl wonders if it's enough already. She says she is tired, but it's nothing but pain. "I don't care anymore. Cut me if you want," she says. Yotsuha holds a certificate of approval and declares that she'll definitely do it. Someone off-panel comments on how happy Yotsuha looks and compliments her beautiful smile. Another voice congratulates her, saying, "You did it." A young boy holding a four-leaf clover exclaims that he wants the other person to be happy too. A note reads, "A new home sounds fun. I'm happy too." The scene shifts to a girl with tears in her eyes, followed by a panel showing her coughing and sniffling. A woman tells the girl that she also has to train for the Olympics. The girl replies that she supposes the next step is to become an Olympic athlete. The woman then states that the girl needs to work hard on her studies and pass 100 exams, threatening to tear her to pieces if she. The girl declares that she can keep going. She thinks that if it's for the other person, she is the one who couldn't let them down. She resolves to overcome a trial like this, standing outside the audition judging room. A determined girl declares that she's going to give it her all. Another observes that she still makes that face, and someone else remarks that she's an amazing girl. Papers covered in faces and diagrams litter the scene. Yotsuha Dono receives a letter of acceptance, overjoyed at the prospect of living a happy life. Someone exclaims how happy she looks, admiring her adorable smile. Another person agrees that it's wonderful. She vows to keep striving for Yuichi's sake, even if it's hard. Even if she runs out of breath, if her chest hurts, even if she wants to rest, she will persevere. Yuichi thinks that even dying would be easier if he thought she was happy. A girl is told to excel at sports and to work hard on studying. She is instructed to keep getting perfect scores and to aim to become an Olympic athlete. Then she threatens to snip someone if they can't do it. On stage, Yotsuha declares, "I'll keep moving forward," and vows not to give up on being happy. She expresses her gratitude, saying, "Thank you, Uchi-kun," as she continues to live. Yotsuha states, "I'll do my best," while another person observes that she can still make a face like that. Someone thinks that they can enjoy her for this long, regarding her as a lovely child. The scene shifts to a flashback where Yotsuha reflects on her high school days. She recalls that she couldn't take it anymore, lamenting, "My body." Yotsuha resolves to keep doing her best for Ichi, even if it's painful. Though breathing is hard and her chest hurts, she refuses to rest, because if she is happy, then Uchi will be happy. Standing on stage, the girl declares that she survived and didn't give up on happiness. She expresses her gratitude towards Uchi. The crowd watches as she takes a bow. The girl collapses, her body giving out around the time she started middle school. She hears a wee-woo sound as she falls. The panels reveal that she has been frail since birth. Her body broke down, particularly her heart, around the time she started middle school. It got so bad that it wouldn't function properly. On the winter of her year of middle school, a young woman stands by the hospital bed. The girl in the bed is revealed to be her mother. Lying in a hospital bed, a girl states that she died in a car accident. She admits she thought she was finally free, feeling relieved. A woman declares that she will be the girl's legal guardian from now on. The girl thinks that her older brother, Mitsuha, is someone whose thoughts she can't read, hoping he doesn't do anything bad to her. No letters came today either, the girl notes. Around that time, letters from Uchi stopped coming. The letters felt kinda cold since entering middle school. Sitting in a wheelchair, the girl thinks that maybe Mitsu has got lots of friends and a girlfriend too, living his youth. She wonders if her happiness doesn't even matter to him anymore, clenching her fist. The girl admits she cannot know for sure, but if there is even the slightest chance that Uichi still wants her to be happy, then she has got to give it her all and be happy again. She is sure he does. She vows to do her best and get better for Uchi. The sign reads, "During surgery." With that resolve, she fought for about 5 years. She has an examination starting at 8, then remote classes from 10:30. The text declares, "I'll do my best and get better." The text declares, "For Uichi." She buys a watch at the hospital kiosk, almost crushing it in the process. The girl wonders if there is a better way to carry it around. On the spring of her second year of high school, she prepares the watch. She puts the four-leaf clover from Uchi into the watch. Time passes, and she graduates. On the winter of her second year of high school, she receives her discharge. She decides to go see Yuichi. Since she had him lots of times, she knows exactly where he lives. Even if Uchi has forgotten about her, she will thank him. Thanks to Uchi, she was able to overcome a lot of hardships. She won't tell him that she might like him, but she will say that she is alive right now. The girl smiles at her phone, thinking that she'll get him to teach her about social media. She hopes they can keep in touch. Later, she wonders what clubs he is in and how much taller he has gotten. She also bets he's super handsome now, but she admits to herself a house looms before her, and she stares at it with wide eyes. She wonders if it's the right place. The girl flips a light switch, but there's only silence. "It's me, Yotsuha," she calls out, wondering if someone is there. The door creaks open, and Yotsuha realizes it was unlocked. She wonders if someone is inside. The young man stands amidst the squalor of a trashed room. The date is revealed to be December 6th. The young man looks down, his expression heavy with sorrow. Behind him, a girl stands near a doorway as he thinks to himself that this is the worst day of his life. The girl stares ahead, her eyes wide with shock as she utters, "Yuichi." The text ominously declares the day she killed Yuichi. At this time, Yotsuha still knew nothing. She introduces herself, but falters, as Uichi looks at her with a somber expression. Back then, she didn't know anything. Yotsuha speaks, but is interrupted by Uichi, who notices that she looks different. The young man recoils in terror, shouting "Peek" as he sees a girl standing in the doorway. He begs someone to stop, haunted by voices that relentlessly tell him to die. In his mind, he sees a horrifying figure looming over him in bed, repeating the same chilling. The young man cries out, seemingly reliving a traumatic experience. The unseen tormentors continue to assault him with the same phrase, "You tell me to die." He is trapped in a loop of fear and despair, unable to escape the voices that haunt him. The girl insists she won't say it, questioning why she would ever utter such words. However, the young man is overwhelmed, clutching his head in anguish. She urges Uichi to calm down, concerned by his distress. The girl denies saying anything, confused by Uichi's reaction. She states that she gets it already, but he keeps doing it night after night. Uichi trembles, clearly suffering from a deep-seated trauma. Yotsuha asks Yuichi if he is okay, but he apologizes, already in tears. Yuichi says he is sorry to Yotsuha, claiming he can't keep the promise anymore.